The 50th season of Grayson County football begins tonight in Brownsville with the annual Tobacco Bowl. A new district brings plenty of optimism for the orange and blue, but a loss to the Cats could turn the tide. The Tobacco Stick has had an orange tint since 2018. Will the Cougs keep it that way, or will Edmonson paint it red? And a good evening and welcome to Edmonson County High School for tonight's 50th season of Grayson County football. Sam Gormley alongside the former Cougar quarterback Kaylor Decker. And Kaylor, it's like Christmas morning.
Yeah.
Grayson County, Edmonson County to start off the year. I didn't even need my alarm clock this morning. I was ready to go, and I'm not even out there playing.
No. I still had to get mine because I had to work, so I really wasn't looking forward to that. But I was looking forward to getting off of work and being here for tonight.
Because I think the expectations for Grayson County football are high. And I don't even know if the expectations is the right word. I think it's optimism.
Yeah.
And a lot of that goes with something that we're going to talk about ad nauseum this season, and it is this brand new district. Because as we were just talking off air, no Bowling Green, no Owensboro, no South Warren, no Greenwood, no Graves County. And that, to Brian Jones, I think when he heard about this new district of Seneca, Bullitt Central, North Bullitt, and more, I think I saw him do backflips.
Yeah, he probably did. I mean, he's very athletic, so, there's a pretty good chance.
If not, he was definitely wanting to do the backflips. And this Grayson County, Edmonson County game is what you want. 47th all-time matchup between the two teams. Edmonson has the edge overall, 24-22, but recently it's been all Cougars. They've won 4 straight. Last year, 33-12, if I can talk right. And if you remember in that game, Kaylor, it was Cougars were down at the half. And then in the second half, I don't know what Brian Jones told them. It probably wasn't pretty.
No.
But whatever it was worked because they dominated in the second half of that game.
And that's all that matters. You win the second half, and if that point differential's in your favor, you take the game.
Cougars were 4-7 last year with a loss to Greenwood in the Class 5A playoffs, looking for that 5th straight win against Edmonson, currently in their longest win streak in the series. Grayson County joining a new district this year with Bullitt Central, Moore, North Bullitt, and Seneca. In that district, Cougars were picked 2nd by the Courier-Journal, but 4th, if you're asking the Cat's Paws. Edmonson County 3-8 last year, lost to Lexington Christian 48-0 in the first round of the playoffs. Wildcats also in a new district. Fort Campbell, Owensboro Catholic, and Todd County Central. They were picked 4th in that district by the Cat's Paws, and that would have them going to Mayfield in the first round of the playoffs.
Oh, that's not a fun trip.
No, not ideal. Zach Vincent in his 2nd year as the head coach of the Wildcats. Coming up on the Locker Room Show, we'll introduce you to both teams, talk to the head coach of the Cougars, Brian Jones, and more. This is the Locker Room Show right here on K105.
How do you define success? Is it in the mastery of skills, in teamwork, in responsibility and self-discipline? Is it found through communication or through problem-solving, innovation? Is it in the inches of small victories that lead down miles of self-discovery to a destination where potential and purpose meet? Prepared and confident, Grayson County Schools. Success is what you make it.
When I found out my son was addicted to opiates, I didn't know where to turn. Now I know there's help, and you can call, whether you're a family member, a sibling, or the person with the addiction. And the number is 1-833-8-KY-HELP. Call for the resources. They're going to help you with compassion and care and the knowledge of what's available to get you the help you need.
Are you looking for the best building materials in Litchfield? Look no further than Future Designs Building Materials. The builder's choice on Quarry Road has everything you need to build your dream home. Jim writes, "I'm so glad I came to Future Designs for my new roof. The staff was so helpful and knowledgeable, and they made sure I got the right materials for my needs. Thanks, Jim." Future Designs is more than just a building materials store. Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield. FDBM.net.
Building on experience.
Cougar football on K105.
Welcome back here to the Locker Room Show on K105. Sam Gormley and Kaylor Decker with you. Edmonson County this season, or last year, they were 3-8. Noah Meredith is the starting quarterback. Last year, did not attempt a pass. And Kaylor, if you're the Grayson County defense and you're seeing a guy out there getting the start that never attempted a pass, your eyes have to lighten up a little bit.
Oh, yeah, you're bringing extra pressure at him. You're making him think.
And that'll be something that'll be really interesting to see how Kevin Embry handles that, the defensive end. But you look at it, and it helps when you're the first-time starting quarterback that you have a 1,000-yard rusher returning. And Michael Mills, 157 carries for 1,000 yards, 17 touchdowns, also caught 8 passes and a touchdown. And he also attempted 38 passes for 77 yards last year. He is a weapon, and that has to be music, though, if you're Noah Meredith's ears, and knowing that you've got a guy to rely on if things aren't going well.
And as a quarterback, there was some days it just wasn't there, and you have to rely on that run game at times, especially my junior year with Caden. It helped a lot to have somebody like that.
And Caden Woodcock was your guy. And he had some monster games, especially with times when you might have needed that extra end. They averaged 18.4 points per game last year. In their 3 wins, 43.3 points per game. In their 8 losses, 9 points a game. It's almost as if scoring usually helps you win.
It
usually does. Now, we could be saying the same thing about Grayson County here in just a few minutes. Defensively was a struggle. Gave up at least 33 points in 7 games last year. Pass defense, 104.4 yards per game. Allowed a season-high 203 to quarterback you might know, Cutter Bowley, who is the favorite to win Mr. Football at Lexington Christian. Rush defense, through the first 3 games, they averaged giving up over 300 yards a game. The last 8, under 120. So they improved drastically through that. Noah Meredith, the quarterback, is the leading returning tackler as well on defense. Grayson County, high expectations. New starting quarterback. We'll tell you who that is after this. This is Cougar Football on K105.
Here's a simple truth about higher education.
If pursuing your purpose, doing what you really care about matters.
If having a rewarding career matters.
If a better financial future for you and your family matters.
Then higher education matters. A brighter future is within your reach. Find out how at kyhigheredmatters.org. Brought to you by this station and the Kentucky Broadcasters Association.
I'm not here to fire you up. If you're not already fired up, you shouldn't be in this room. If this victory isn't worth all you have to give, then leave. But now, right now is your chance to be a part of a victory the world will remember forever. Victory over cancer. This victory isn't just happening. It isn't inevitable.
What does hope mean?
Now is our time, your time. You may save someone you love.
Time is very precious.
Today's cancer research is tomorrow's victory. A victory that is there for the taking. Grab it. How was that?
Now that was a great halftime speech. Let's go win.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
So I can't control. Okay, here we go.
Cougar Football on K105.
Welcome back here to Edmonson County High School. Grayson County and the Wildcats of Edmonton about ready to get underway. Colby Chaffins is the starting quarterback for Grayson County. Not attempted a pass in a game against Hopkins County Central last week. 4 of 6 for 45 yards. Added 3 rushing touchdowns. In 7-on-7, which again, Kaylor, I know we can talk about this ad nauseum, is not a perfect way to look at a quarterback because he would probably make throws or force throws in 7-on-7 that he wouldn't in a real game. He was 58 of 127 for 856 yards, 16 touchdowns, only the 4 interceptions. You know Colby very well. How do you describe Colby Chaffins as a starting quarterback?
he's very in his own mind at times. In 7-on-7, it was clearly obvious whenever he made a mistake, he would let that linger. It almost lingered the whole night until they started to get on a roll towards the end of the game, or the end of the night, actually, and you could tell that there was a different confidence about him. He has a tendency to kind of get little happy feet in the pocket for something that's not really there yet. He has got to learn to kind of calm himself down while he's in the pocket and just let the game come to him.
And we touched on how it's helpful for Noah Meredith for Edmonson County to have Michael Mills, where it's real helpful when Colby Chaffins has weapon around him, and it starts with Jaron Van Meter, the leading rusher last year, 115 carries, 521 yards, 8 touchdowns. And then you add in the freshman wild card, Caden Hanshaw. He had 9 carries for 58 yards against Hopkins County, caught a couple of passes as well. But then maybe the running back that has surprised me the most that you could see at times tonight is Ethan Mudd.
Yes.
He is, I don't know that he gives up, kind of like Jaron.
I mean, I call whenever Henshaw or Van Meter in, that's our lightning package, but whenever Mudd gets in, it's thunder. I mean, because he is a bowling ball whenever he gets in there.
But has lightning to him as well, because he's not, I mean, he's not, and I don't want to call Waylon Bruce slow, but Waylon Bruce was the I'm going to run you over, whereas Mudd will also be able to beat you with his legs. And then you also open it up to your wide receivers. Grayson Chaffins, 18 catches, just under 200 yards last year. Jaden Kinney had his moments last season as well. 15 catches, 144 yards. Mason Carroll had a strong 7-on-7 last year, 13 catches for 83 yards as well. And you can really just spread it out to all of these different weapons that Grayson County has this year. Scoring offense had its ups and had its downs. During the 4-game winning streak against Edmonson County, they're averaging just about 38 points a game. The low in that stretch is 31 points. Last year, they were successful in the red zone, 20 of 26. The defense allowed just under 24 points a game. Again, here you go. Here's your stat. In 4 wins, allowed 8 points a game, 7 losses, 33 points a game.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And now, again, some of those losses were against Owensboro and so on, so it can be a little bit misleading. But that defense, you never know when it might have to carry him. Brian Jones, the head coach, we'll talk to him after this. This is Cougar Football on K105.
We had an MRI, and then all of a sudden this doctor comes in and he says to us, we have the potential here for a catastrophic event.
And he looked scared.
He looked terrified. And he's like, we got to operate now. It just all changed. Life changed.
Bryce is one of the 47 children per day who are diagnosed with cancer. Today's treatments aren't enough. To watch the rest of Bryce's story, visit childrenscancer.org/story.
The doctor said I had a 29% chance to find a blood stem cell donor. But I knew you were out there. And when we matched, it was the best day ever. Dear donor, your blood stem cells saved me from leukemia. Thank you forever and ever and ever.
Experience the true joy of saving a life at BeTheMatch.org.
For the more than 1 million people living with Parkinson's disease, the Parkinson's Foundation celebrates movement at Moving Day. A movement toward life-saving resources. Movement toward advancing research and care. Movement toward a better life. We care. We fight. We move to beat Parkinson's. Move with us at movingdaywalk.org.
The governor has declared a state of emergency, and evacuation is now underway as the storm approaches. The National Weather Service has issued a warning as it monitors the storm. Those in the following counties, therefore, should seek.
Convoy of Hope is ready to help you prepare for the next storm. Visit convoy.org/prepare.
Cougar Football on K105.
Welcome back to the Locker Room Show here on K105. Sam Gormley joined by the head coach of the Grayson County Cougars, head coach Brian Jones, for the first time this season. Coach, played about a dozen 7-on-7 games, a couple of scrimmages. What did you learn about your team across those about 14 games?
Well, I think we got better over the course of playing the games. Our first scrimmage was okay, but I felt like our second scrimmage was pretty good. Same thing. I think we started same way in 7-on-7. Our first couple of games were a little shaky, but the longer we played, the more we got going, the better we got. So, I like that trend. If we continue to improve like that throughout the season, hopefully we're playing in November and got a chance to, win some playoff games, maybe play one at home. So, we got better through the course of it, and I think that was the most important thing.
I asked you a question before you were playing Thomas Nelson in 2020, something along the lines of, how had you changed as a head coach since your first year at Todd County Central until your first year at Grayson County? This is now your 10th year as a head coach as a whole. I'll ask you that question again. How have you changed, really even in just the last 4 years here at Grayson County?
I think we continue to evolve to try to make what we're doing, put our kids in the best position to be successful. We've changed offenses. Some years we're a heavy run team in the eye. We've been an H-back, one-back gun team. We've been predominantly, 4 wide and just a single-back gun. Same thing on the defense side of the ball. We've been a 3-3 stack. We've been an even front. And so I think at year in, year out, we try to do what we can to put our kids in the best position to be successful. And, that's not always easy because you get things that you're comfortable with, things you really like, plays you really like, and some years you're just not well suited to run those. And so I continue to try to keep that approach. What are our kids good at, not what do we like? And then, I think, at 39 years old, I'm a lot more understanding than I was at 25-year-old. When I was a young head coach. So, to me, I think having my own kids, just maturing in age and everything, I think you try to be more understanding and you realize how important relationships with these kids are and that it's bigger than the game of football. And, wins and losses are great, but that's not the most important thing in the world. At the end of the road, you want them to be successful when they leave this place. And it's kind of like, the old saying of you want things to be better off afterwards is when you took over. So, I want these kids to be better people when they leave this program than they were when they entered the program. And, I think we're doing a pretty good job at that, and we're going to keep that as, our most important attribute that we try to do in this program. The wins will take care of themselves.
Preseason polls were released, and they're all by pundits and so on, but one of them had you all as 4th best in your new district. I know I heard through the grapevine that didn't necessarily set well with some guys on your team especially. And then even this morning, the Bowling Green Daily News came out, and 2 of their 3 picks were for Edmonson County tonight, and again, didn't set well with some of your players. Do you like that?
I love it. I hope they keep picking against us. I hope they keep rooting against us. We got all we need inside this locker room, and we'll band together and we'll take each game as it comes. I like my guys.
Colby Chaffins is your starting quarterback. How has he improved just through this preseason, and what does he bring to your offense?
I think he's getting more and more comfortable. The scrimmage, the last one, he's still the first couple of plays, a little nervous, a little jittery. But once he settles in, he's got an opportunity to be a really nice player. He's gutsy, he's tough, and he's getting better every day with reads and different things like that. So, just through the preseason, he's made leaps and bounds and confidence alone, and that's important. You got to have a lot of it to play quarterback. You need to be the most confident guy on the field, and I think that's something that we're continually trying to work with him on. You got to play that position with some swagger, with some confidence, because everybody else is feeding off you. All eyes are on you every time you go into the huddle, and you better step in there with a lot of confidence and a lot of control if we're going to be successful. And that's the one thing that we continue to try to work on him is, hey, step in there like you own this place and speak assertively, and everybody else will respond to that. And he's getting better and better at that. He's making some plays, and I think the more plays he makes, the more comfortable he gets, the more confidence he has, and just the better we are as a team.
You saw Edmonson in one 7-on-7 game. Now, I don't really know that you learned anything from that because you were focused a lot on yourself at that point. What do you know about them? And I know you've probably seen some film from the scrimmage. What have you seen?
Oh, they got an incredible back, and the Mills kid, 1,000-yard rusher last year, real athletic quarterback. They got some big kids that play extremely hard. So they're a well-rounded group. I don't think 7-on-7 is something that they put a lot of stock into, and I don't blame them when you got a running back like the Mills kid. I expect them to try to run the ball and get him the ball as many ways as they can, whether it be some short bubble screens and things like that. But he's the centerpiece, and he should be. He's well built. He's athletic, plays hard, and so they're going to, I think they're going to line up and try to run right at us. Up to this point, that's been probably one of our downsides is somebody that just wants to run it right down our throat. So we're going to have to step up and be very, very strong and aggressive up front, own the line of scrimmage, keep linebackers clean. And then keep him corralled too, because he's somebody that can break one for 30, 40, 50 yards at any time.
You get your chance to pick up your 6th straight 1-0 start and winning the season opener, but probably more importantly in that locker room, you get a chance to win your 5th straight against Edmonson County and keep the tobacco stick hanging on the wall. How do you do it?
Well, I think we got to control the ball and time of possession. We need to keep Mills without the ball in his hands. We got to win the turnover battle and the field possession battle or position battle. But ultimately, I think, we're going to have to make the plays we should make. I don't think, trick plays are going to win anybody a ball game, and they're not going to lose you a ball game. But I think, most importantly, we got to play our style of football and not get caught up in the rivalry aspect and everything like that. When it boils down to it, it's just another football game, and they're just another football team, and we've got to impose our will upon them. So, we're going to try to line up and run right at them as well, sprinkling a little RPO and pass as we need to. But I think the team that has the better line of scrimmage play wins this ball game.
Coach, good luck. More here comes up in the locker room show after this.
Here's a simple truth about higher education.
If pursuing your purpose, doing what you really care about matters.
If having a rewarding career matters.
If a better financial future for you and your family matters.
Then higher education matters. A brighter future is within your reach. Find out how at kyhigheredmatters.org. Brought to you by this station and the Kentucky Broadcasters Association.
No matter what you're up against, we have your back.
We are United Way.
We are neighbors helping neighbors. In communities around the world, when disaster strikes,
We get you back on your feet.
We help children build brighter futures.
We've been here for over 135 years.
but now our work is more important than ever.
Join us.
Join your neighbors.
Join United Way.
Some days are just better than others.
I think you should go talk to someone.
It's not that easy.
Have you been thinking about suicide? You can talk to me, Dad.
It's been a tough couple of months.
Cougar football on K105.
Welcome back to Edmonson County High School. Grayson County and Edmonson County just about 5 minutes away from getting underway. And Kaylor, we don't necessarily have a Kaylor's Keys segment per se, but about 30 seconds. What are the keys to victory?
Like Jones said earlier, you got to win the time of possession battle. I mean, because if you have the ball more, that means more than likely you're going to end up scoring more points. And I think getting out to a hot start, especially in this game, because actually, I don't know if people know this, Edmonson's not been in school yet, so their routine is not how Grayson County's is. They're not used to getting up this early in the morning. So you got to use that. Get out, hit them in the mouth early, get them back in their shell, and just make this game over within the first half.
Grayson County and Edmonson County comes up next here on K105.
Are you looking for the best building materials in Litchfield? Look no further than Future Designs Building Materials. The builder's choice on Quarry Road has everything you need to build your dream home. Jim writes, I'm so glad I came to Future Designs for my new roof. The staff was so helpful and knowledgeable, and they made sure I got the right materials for my needs. Thanks, Jim. Future Designs is more than just a building materials store. Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield. FDBM.net.
Building on experience.
Here's a simple truth about higher education.
If pursuing your purpose, doing what you really care about matters.
If having a rewarding career matters.
If a better financial future for you and your family matters.
Then higher education matters. A brighter future is within your reach. Find out how at kyhigheredmatters.org. Brought to you by this station and the Kentucky Broadcasters Association.
It's time for football in Brownsville between the Grayson County Cougars and the Edmonson County Wildcats. We're starting early, and it's an onside kick on the ground, goes all the way through, and it is going to go out of bounds. Grayson County does not touch it, but the Cougars are going to get the football placed on their own 36-yard line. As they ended up taking, no, they aren't taking any time off the clock. We started early. We welcome in our radio coverage here to Edmonson County High School. Sam Gormley and Kaylor Decker with you. The kick goes out of bounds for Edmonson County, so the Cougars are going to get the football at the 40-yard line, their own 40, and that's where Colby Chaffins is going to come out and get his first start on offense. Chaffins, 4 of 6, 45 yards against Hopkins County, and added 3 rushing touchdowns last week. He will be joined in the backfield by Caden Hanshaw to his right, Jaron Van Meter to his left. He's got a wide receiver on each side. Actually, the ball is going to be placed at the 46-yard line of Grayson County. Good field position for Grayson to start off with. First down and 10 for the Cougars, placed on their own 46. It'll be a handoff right up the middle to Jaron Van Meter. He goes up for maybe about 2 yards, getting up to about the 48-yard line, gain of 2 on the play. Kaylor, one of the stories that we didn't talk about in the open is that there's been a lot of changes on that offensive line centered around the injury last week to center Jake Lasley. I didn't see who ended up catching the snap because when I talked to Coach Jones early this afternoon, he told me, I still don't know.
And that's with a line, luckily, 4 of those 5 spots you can kind of interchange, but that center's a kind of a hard one to switch.
Center is a really important position, and I can't see who
I think
is
that's
getting this.
Weston Green.
And it was either going to be Weston Green or one of the younger players that was going to get in there. Chaffins, handoff on misdirection. Hanshaw, big hole left side across the 45, inside the 40. He's outside the numbers, 30, 25, 20, and he's tackled out of bounds inside the 20-yard line, down to about the 18. Big gain for Caden Hanshaw. First down, Cougars. And that is showing what that freshman can do right away, down to the 17-yard line for Hanshaw. That is a 35-yard pickup on his first touch from scrimmage.
Yep. And I love what we did there. We kind of used Jaron as a decoy because Edmonson is, I'm sure they probably know, he's probably the best athlete on the field right now. But the good thing about having the second best athlete is you can use him too.
And this Grayson County offense is loaded with athletes on both sides of the ball, with Hanshaw and also with Van Meter. 10:50 left in the first quarter. Cougars are in the red zone. They were 20 of 26 in the red zone last season. Chaffin's under center. It's a pitch to Hanshaw across the far side, down to inside the 15. He is going to run up the sideline, down inside the 10, looking near that first down marker, and it looks like he does have enough to move the chains for another first down Cougars as he gets down to the 5-yard line, 12 yards on the pickup for Caden Hanshaw. And this drive is exactly what Brian Jones wanted to see this Grayson County team to open up.
And I just saw that we subbed in Ethan Mudd, it looks like.
Ethan Mudd, we touched on it in the open. You described him as thunder. And if Caden Hanshaw's lightning, he's shown lightning.
Yeah.
And thunder is getting ready to roll himself into the game. Mudd lining up in almost a fullback position, and you've got two running backs lined up behind him. It is Hanshaw on the right side, Van Meter on the left side. It is Van Meter on the give. He runs into a brick wall as he gets down to the 4-yard line and is driven backwards by a couple Edmonson County players. Wildcats were not fooled on the misdirection that time. You will give 1 yard to Jaron Van Meter. It'll bring up second down and goal at the 4. Well, actually, nope. They're going to say no gain. First, I thought the near side official did give Van Meter 1 yard, but they changed their mind and say, nope, nothing.
Another thing we got to be careful of is no stupid penalties. I mean, this game you know is going to get chippy. Just keep your mouth shut, talk with your pads, let them be the one to make a mistake.
Second down and goal from the 5-yard line. Same form. Actually, Mudd is now left the game, as it's going to remain, though, with a running back on each side. And we're going to have a timeout called early by Grayson County. Brian Jones clearly didn't like something. And with 9 minutes and 53 seconds left here in the first half, timeout on the field. It is 0-0. It'll be second down and goal from the 5. Clearly Jones didn't like something.
Yeah. We lined up in a slot formation there. I'm sure he didn't. He might have done that to kind of see what they were going to line up like. And they was going to call a timeout to kind of see if he could get a different play off of that.
Grayson County High School is playing here in their 50th season of Cougar football. It started all the way back in 1974. The head coach is Mick Caba for the first couple of seasons, and I know I'm excited to meet Coach Caba on Thursday. He's coming down, our good friend Roger Lush, who we want to give a shout-out. He's driving to the beach right now. So
really?
he called me on the way down, and he said he's going to have to fight with his grandson on whether he's going to be able to listen or the grandson's going to win off. So hopefully, Roger, right now, you've won out, and your grandson, we can give a shout-out to him as well as he's listening in. Big Cougar fan coming up. But he's hosting a big event on Thursday that we're excited to meet Coach Caba. Chaffins will go in the gun. Hanshaw is to his left. It'll be a quarterback draw up the middle for Chaffins. He dives down inside the 5-yard line, down to about the 2. The ball came out. Chaffin's a little slow to get up, but I think it was because he had an Edmonson County defender on top of him. Chaffins is going to get 3 yards down to the 2-yard line. Third down and goal from the 2 with 9.5 minutes left in the first quarter. And, Kaylor, I think I can speak for Coach Jones. 4-down territory.
Yeah. And I like what we did there. I know we didn't really score, get a huge gain off of it, but get Colby hit. Get that first one out and knock the jitters out of them.
And we have another. Is that another timeout called?
Yep.
Another timeout called by Grayson County. 2 of them in the first.
I can speak for that sideline. That's probably not a fun place to be right now.
No, I can't imagine that Coach Jones is a very happy man right now. We do also want to say that since next week is homecoming, we want to make sure that we say that there's a big canned food drive coming up next week. If you have students in Grayson County schools, make sure that you send your canned food to all of them. As Spirit Week, they're having contests versus all of the schools. As you have to Clarkson, to Wilkie, to wherever it is they're trying to see and raise all of those canned foods will go to the Grayson County Alliance. So it's a really good thing. I know Clarkson won by the elementaries last year. Grayson County High School, I think, won overall was the thing. So make sure, if you don't have a student in Grayson County schools, I'm sure all of those schools are welcome if you just drop it off in the front office. Third down and goal from the 2-yard line. Out of the timeout, Chaffins under center. Hanshaw, it's a direct snap to Van Meter right up across the right side. Looks like he's in. He's in. Touchdown, Cougars. Jaron Van Meter gives Grayson County their first lead of the season on the 2-yard touchdown run with 9 minutes and 12 seconds left here in the opening quarter.
It kind of looks like we went Wildcat there, put Hanshaw and Jaron back there and subbed Colby out.
Trying to switch it up. We've seen that. And it'll be Lane Beasley to be the kicker. He had some up and down times during his scrimmage. It's a high snap. Van Meter gets it down, and the kick is no good. Grayson County takes a 6-0 advantage, 9-12 left in the first quarter. We'll take a break. This is Cougar Football on.
Are you looking for the best building materials in Litchfield? Look no further than Future Designs Building Materials. The builder's choice on Quarry Road has everything you need to build your dream home. Jim writes, I'm so glad I came to Future Designs for my new roof. The staff was so helpful and knowledgeable, and they made sure I got the right materials for my needs. Thanks, Jim. Future Designs is more than just a building materials store. Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield. FDBM.net.
Building on experience.
Here's a simple truth about higher education.
If pursuing your purpose, doing what you really care about matters.
If having a rewarding career matters.
If a better financial future for you and your family matters.
Then higher education matters. A brighter future is within your reach. Find out how at kyhigheredmatters.org. Brought to you by this station and the Kentucky Broadcasters Association.
Grayson County has the early 6-0 advantage after the 2-yard touchdown run by Jaron Van Meter. Kaler, 2 timeouts on that drive, but other than that, doesn't get much better to open up.
No, I mean, but those huge timeouts can be huge. You just hope that it's not a close enough game to need them.
Jaron Van Meter closed it out with a 2-yard touchdown run, and the kick is up on the far side. It is bobbled and picked up at the 25, but immediately tackled on the far side. Ethan Mudd comes in with a big tackle for Grayson County, and that's where Edmonson County and new starting quarterback Noah Meredith are going to take the field. Meredith did not attempt to pass last season, did rush 11 times for 64 yards. Was also one of their leading receivers. Edmonson County only attempted 111 passes last year, only completed 33% of them. They're not a passing team.
No.
They're wanting to run the ball with Michael Mills. He was a 1,000-yard rusher on the dot last year. Officially, the ball is going to be placed in the Edmonton 22. It'll be first down and 10. Meredith will go under center. Mills is the deep back. It'll be a give to Mills up the middle. He tries to bounce it across the far side, and he does. Has space to work, has a blocker in front of him. He's got the first down and more as he gets it up across the 35-yard line. And a late after the play tackle. Luckily, there was not a penalty as the whistle was blown. And on that far side of the field, it looked like that was Weston Green slammed down Mills after the play was over. And luckily, after the 13-yard pickup, that was not an extra 15.
And it looks like Jaron got pulled. He's a little shaken up, it looks like.
And that is not somebody that you want to see. Not that you want to see anybody get hurt for Grayson. But that Grayson County starting defense, the starting lineup for the Cougar defense, is looking at, you've got Matthew Phillips, Weston Green, and Ethan Mudd, Sawyer Drake on the defensive line, Van Meter, Raymond, Hubry, and Cornwell as the linebackers, and your cornerback and secondary of Hanshaw, Carroll, and Chaffins. Pitch to the near side to Mills. He tries to turn back to the far side of the field, and nothing there at all. A host of Cougars in there on the tackle. Looks like Braden Mudd might have been one of the first men in there, along with, was that Will Vincent that came in? It was Will Vincent getting the start in the middle of the defense. Vincent is acting as the nose guard there and played the position to perfection.
Yeah, I mean, come down flat down the line of scrimmage. If the outside force player does their job, you got a free tackle.
6-0, Grayson County on top, 8.5 to play here in the first quarter. Edmonson County will have it second down and 12, placed on their own 33-yard line. It is placed right there in the center of the field, working from right to left on the radio dial. Again, Stitch just sticking with this I formation, and once again, Mills gets it, and he stutter steps, goes to the right, and is met by a Cougar again.
Sawyer Drake.
Sawyer Drake came across the far side of the field and said, "Good evening, Mr. Mills. My name's Sawyer. Nice to meet you." And he's dropped for a loss of 3 yards. It'll bring up third down and long for Edmonton in what would presumably be a passing down.
Yep, but I don't know if they will. This is
screen down would be my assumption. In fact, now that I look, is that not? No, it is Meredith. Okay, they checked in David Finn, the running back, and when he came in, I thought he was in at quarterback for a second, and got a little confused because that would have been a change from Meredith, 5'11", 175-pound senior quarterback. And it looks like they're going to go in a passing set. In fact, we've got almost a pistol formation.
Yeah, that's heavy.
I'm assuming screen.
Either
maybe.
that or a direct toss.
It is a toss. No, Mills looked like he was going to pass, instead runs and is swallowed up on the interior of the Grayson County defensive line. Stephen Lee was in there, as was Sawyer Drake and maybe Matthew Phillips. And no, it was Sawyer. I'm thinking of that was Matthew Phillips. Yes.
Yep.
Trust your gut the first time, as they say, and it'll be a pickup, though. He gets 2 yards, 4th down and a country mile coming up for Edmonson County, and they're leaving the offense on the field.
It's either that or a quick punt.
I mean, Meredith is standing back about 5 yards back from the center. Is it going to be a pooch kick?
Yep.
It will be. Meredith will get it. It's a short kick, and it is going to drop in. Does it hit a Grayson County player?
No, it landed in his lap first.
And this is going to be a weird call as it landed, and now we have Meredith who lays into a Grayson County player. They're going to have to talk this over, and I think they're going to say it's Grayson County ball. Is what happened is it landed. So Caden Hanshaw and an Edmonson County player were blocking one another because Hanshaw was blocking the gunner. And they turned around and it ended up hitting Hanshaw in the backside.
But I think the kid had made contact before.
And they're going to say Edmonson County ball.
That was a bad call. I can see it.
And Kevin Embry, defensive coordinator for Grayson County, is hot on the sideline. I can see him. Brian Jones is about 5 yards out onto the field. I think he wants an explanation.
Yeah.
That'll turn out to be a muffed punt for Grayson and give Edmonson County the ball.
Welcome to Edmonson County. I mean, it's just a game where crazy's going to happen. It doesn't matter.
6:37 left in the first quarter. Grayson County still does have the 6-0 lead. It is placed on the 48-yard line of the Wildcats. 1st down and 10. They get a second life. Handoff Mills, and he has absolutely nothing to work with again. Met by a host of players. Sawyer Drake
Man,
in
looked
there.
like Kenton Cornwell got back there.
Kenton Cornwell did come around the edge. And Kenton Cornwell has impressed me a lot in the scrimmages. Kenton is maybe 5'5", if we're being nice. But I'll tell you one thing about Kenton is he has absolutely put on a ton of muscle.
Yeah.
I mean, he is not somebody that I'd want to see coming around the edge because he's like a little bowling ball.
And, I mean, he's right at the perfect height to hit your kneecaps, and I can guarantee you it doesn't feel good.
2nd down and 10. They're going to say no gain on the run for Mills. It's hand off to the fullback, right side run, and it's going to be a pickup of a couple of yards to Daugherty. And he'll get it down to the 44-yard line of Edmonson County. That's going to be a 8-yard pickup. It'll bring up 3rd down and 2 for Daughtry. That was Ace Daughtry. He was somebody that was expected to be the fullback of the team. Caught a couple, was in some wide receiver formations last year, also on defense. But again, this Edmonson County team has a lot of inexperience, and is showing off there. It'll be 3rd down and 2. Grayson County already looked like they were going to get the ball back, but it went back the way of the Wildcats after a muffed punt. Wide receiver on each side, I formation for Meredith. Mills on the give, right side, handoff. He's got the first down, and 1 or 2 more as he dove right up in the middle. Braden Mudd had him wrapped up by the ankles, but not before he gets down to the 41-yard line. 3-yard pickup, 1st down, Edmonson County. 5:07 left here in the opening quarter. It is 6-0. Grayson County on top. And for the defense, that's deflating to get back on the field after it looked like you made a couple of big plays, but you can't let it affect you.
No, I mean, that's football. Things like that happen. It's out of your control. Kind of use it as fuel a little bit and just keep playing the next play.
Edmonson now going in the gun for the first time. Daughtry is to the left. Mills to the right of Meredith. 2 wide receivers right side. Meredith, it looks like a direct quarterback run right side. He misses one man. Penalty flags galore, and he runs into a brick wall on the far side. That brick wall by the name of Braden Mudd, and also Mason Carroll was in the vicinity as well. But there is just about every piece of laundry.
I think there was a block in the back.
Is on the field right now. It's looking like our director, Trey Cook's room with laundry left and right on the field. And it is holding called against the Wildcats. And you can tell that must have been blatant because everybody was throwing their flags.
I mean, I saw it, but, I mean, I'm not an official, so I couldn't call anything, but everybody else looks like they saw it.
You would. We should bring you a flag.
I mean,
sure you could throw it down there.
I'm the right age. I could be an official.
not sure you could pay me enough to be an official.
I'd love it.
Football I could probably do because you're far enough away from...
I want parents to argue with me. It's funny. So I'd probably like basketball more.
Yeah. See, the broadcasters, too. You got to worry about them. Sometimes they get a little mouthy.
I mean, I've been on both sides, so I know.
It'll be first down in about 20 for Edmonson County. Meredith
like
rolls out to the right side. He pump fakes. Now he's going to scramble across the far side, and he runs into another wall. Jaron Van Meter back in there. Good sign for the Cougars. Meredith on the run will get about 3 yards as he crosses the 50-yard line up across that far side to the 48. Second down and 17 will come up after this next breakage. Good to see Van Meter back in there for a multitude of reasons.
Yes, and good to see that he's playing like himself, too. He's not out there limping or gimping or anything.
I know Brian Jones told us at the end of last season that he really liked getting Van Meter out that outside linebacker role because then he can play wherever he wants to and move around a lot more. Edmonson County taking a long time to get this play read.
They're down to 5 seconds.
Yeah, they got to hurry it up, and that is going to be timeout or delay a game.
Timeout.
It is going to be a timeout taken by the Wildcats, 6-0, 3 minutes and 32 seconds left, and yes, it will be timeout taken. Let's see if we can't find a score or two from around the region. A couple of big games going on in the area. As we scroll through the good old list here, let's see what we can't do. As I continue, Greenwood at halftime up on Hopkinsville 43-14. Kayla, I know you told me that you had high expectations for Greenwood this year. Grayson County's opponent next week, Marshall County, trails Bethlehem 27-0. That game is about halfway through the second quarter. So Grayson County will host the Marshalls next week. Of course, Bethlehem coached by former Grayson County head coach Keith Graham.
Bethlehem's good.
They are. Barron County up 7-0 on Metcalfe County early first quarter of that game. Catholic on top of Apollo 7-0 in the first quarter. Butler County leads Russellville 20-7 early third quarter of that. That's a bowl game, I think, being played at Logan County tonight. So that I think, started at about 5:30.
Yep.
Those are some of the scores from around the region. We'll keep you updated as they come throughout the night. And Marshall County's gotten on the board in their game. It's 27-7. 3:32 left here in the first quarter. 6-0 Grayson on top of Edmonson. It'll bring up second down and 18 for the Wildcats out of the timeouts. Sam Gormley and Kaylor Decker with you here on the call. I formation, Meredith under center, Mills the deep back. Mills hasn't touched it here in a minute. And right on cue he does. Off the right side, dives in. The defensive line holds up and holds him to about 3 yards on the run. Maybe some extra pushing and shoving after that play, but luckily the officials were right there in it to make sure nothing else happened. Mills gains 3 to the 45, and if you hold him to 3, that's usually a good thing.
Especially when they're behind the chains like they are now. Make them be a passing team, and your odds get significantly higher.
Meredith comes in with a play. It'll bring up third down and 14 for the Wildcats. And this is probably where, and somebody's checking out of the field, somebody's shoe came off, and that's Michael Mills.
Yeah.
Michael Mills is having to come out of the game, and Carter Swihart is going to check in his place. And if you're Grayson, you got to love that. Swihart is going to be the deep back. It'll be the I formation.
They're about to run out of time.
And it'll be a handoff. Swihart up the middle, and boom, he runs into the wall again. And in there on the tackle for Grayson County, I think
Caleb Hoover.
Caleb Hoover, yeah, came in from the linebacker position, getting the start there, and that'll end up being a gain of 1 yard. Fourth down and very long for Edmonton of about 13 yards. You are inching closer to no man's land, but I don't know at 4th and 13. I think you punt.
I mean, especially with the lucky pooch kick you got last time, I'd say you take your odds again.
And it looks like they are going to punt. Jaron Van Meter trots back to go and return. He had a big game against Hopkins County in special teams. It will be Meredith the kick. It's a spinning kick to the far side of the field. No one is in the area this time, and Edmonson County is going to pick it up on the bounce. Down at about the 16-yard line. 2:02 left in this quarter. Punt goes about 26 yards there from Meredith. And I'll tell you, Edmonton, they probably could have let that one go a little bit further. They picked it up early.
Yeah, that was some inexperience showing. That ball still probably had another 5 to 10 yards on it.
And you could have pinned Grayson a lot back a lot further than their own 17, which is where they're going to start here with the football. The first drive took 6 plays and ended in 6 points for the Cougars. A 2-yard touchdown run by Van Meter. Chaffins will pass for the first time, sets up the screen. It's caught by Hanshaw, and he's bottled up immediately and dropped for a loss on the play. In there on the tackle, Ace Daughtry, along with a couple of other players for the Wildcats. That's something that Grayson ran a couple of times in their scrimmages, and clearly Edmonson County was ready for it.
And, I mean, if you see that as Colby, he might have not seen it because it was a backside D end, but if you see your halfback's about to get a kill shot put on him and you're going to lose yards, just throw it right at the guy's feet.
So also 1 yard on the play, 2nd down and 11 for Grayson as we approach the 1.5-minute mark here in the first quarter. 6-0, Cougs on top of the Wildcats, trying to win their 5th straight game here in the Tobacco Bowl. They're already on their longest streak in the series, and also start off 6-0. Spreading it out, Hanshaw joins Chaffins in the backfield, 2 wide on each side. Ball placed in the far hash. Chaffins will pass again over the middle, wide open. Carroll, and it's just overthrown. He had Carroll stretching down the seams, but just overthrew him a little bit. Carter Swihart was in the area for Edmonson County. Might have gotten a fingertip on it, but had no chance of the interception.
This is where he's kind of got to stay calm. You missed a throw, it happens. Heck, the best quarterbacks in the NFL missed 4 out of 10. So, I mean, he's got to ground himself and keep himself in the game.
And that's a throw that he's going to get this season.
Yeah. I mean, you're gonna miss that. That's not an easy throw.
No, because you're going right up the seam, throwing over top of 2 levels of the defense, and he'll make it.
Yeah, I mean, you'll make it every once in a while, but don't beat yourself down when you don't.
3rd and 11 for Grayson. Chaffins to pass again, steps up in the pocket, fires over to the far side, intercepted by Edmonson County on the far side. It was Noah Meredith that picks it up, and he's down inside the 15-yard or inside the 20-yard line. And that's not what you want.
No. He was trying, I think, force something a little bit, trying to make up for what he did last time. And he just he wasn't looking at the defense. He completely ignored the fact that the flat defender was under the curl route. But, I mean, that's something he's just got to work out, get it over with. That play's over. Can't do anything about it anymore.
Edmonson County's going to get it at the Grayson County 18-yard line. 1st down and 10. Cougar defense, I thought, has been good so far. Mills has had a couple of big runs, but he's going to do that. He's going to get his. Yeah. Just got to limit it. Mills on the touch, right up the middle, and again, the defensive line is just eating up the interior of that Edmonson County offense. There were a couple of Cougars in there. You could probably pick your poison as to who you want to give it to.
It looks like Kenton Cornwell came out of it at the bottom.
And you know when you're running into Kenton Cornwell in the middle of a defensive line, he could probably hide underneath all of them.
I mean, it's truthful. It is hard to block him. I mean, he's among the trees.
2nd and 8 for Grayson County. Edmonson will have to snap it at least one more time. We got 30 seconds on the clock here in the first quarter. Meredith under center, I formation. Daughtry the fullback, Mills the deep back. 2nd and 8, a wide receiver on each side. Handoff Daughtry on the fullback dive, and he's wrapped up after getting it down inside the 15-yard line, down to about the 14. Edmonson County will not need to snap it again, and I don't believe that they will. And that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter of play. Grayson County leads Edmonson County 6-0. This is Cougar Football on K105.
Here's a simple truth about higher education.
If pursuing your purpose, doing what you really care about matters.
If having a rewarding career matters.
If a better financial future for you and your family matters.
Then higher education matters. A brighter future is within your reach. Find out how at kyhigheredmatters.org. Brought to you by this station and the Kentucky Broadcasters Association.
Are you ready to help your family get prepared?
Third down and 6 coming up for Edmonson County as we get you ready here for the Wildcats. They'll have it at the Grayson County 14.
Yep. And defense has really got to step up here. Bail your quarterback out. I actually, there's been multiple people call their defenses the firemen to put out the fire after a turnover.
And that's exactly what Colby Chaffins needs here after throwing the interception. He wants to be able to turn to his defense because you better believe Edmonton is only thinking 6.
Yeah.
3rd down and 6, start of the second quarter. Grayson County leads 6-0. Pitch to Mills. He turns down the near side of the field, being chased by Cougars, and he's shoved out of bounds near the original line of scrimmage. Good first hit. I think Mason Carroll came in there and might have put the first hit on to at least slow him down towards that sideline.
I don't know if he got much.
Wow, they're going to give him a yard.
Yeah, I was about to say that. He ran a lot for a yard.
4th down and 5.
Yeah, after the turnover,
This is a huge play.
Yeah.
This is a huge play in this game already. And, I mean, I hate to say this, it's such a cliche, but in a lot of ways, since this is a huge play in this game says a lot about your season. This is a huge play in the season already because I think starting off 0-1 against your biggest rival is the last thing Grayson County wants to do to earn some of the respect that we were talking about earlier. Couple of running backs in, Swihart and Mills deep back. It's to Swihart on the run up the middle. He's wrapped up. It's going to be really close. Gets down to the 10. He needed the 9, and it looks like he did get enough. The near side judge says that he got clearly enough.
Yeah.
And he did.
Yeah.
That'll be 1st down, Edmonson County. He needed 4. He got 5. Well,
we were measuring, so it's not as close as
it looks.
It's closer than we thought.
It looks from my angle that it is not even close.
Yeah, we do have a really bad angle.
But they're going to bring the chains in from the far side to the near side. And I can't believe, too, that we're in 2023. Shouldn't we have, like, a laser or something?
You think the NFL would at least be doing that.
Because you just think
you're leaving it to human error.
Yes. It's wild to me. Or a chip in the ball or something. They're stretching the mark out, and
I can't
tell.
It looks short.
He got it by maybe the nose of the football.
Another Lake Forest recruiting 1st down, Wildcats.
He got, I'm talking the nose of the football.
That's all you need.
$11 minutes and 41 seconds left here in the first half of play. Edmonson County 1st down and goal at the 8. Swihart might have not cut his fingernails last night because of that, or maybe had an extra bowl of Wheaties this morning, and because of it, he got the 1st down.
That's all that matters.
Meredith under center. 6-0 Cougs on top, but the Wildcats are knocking on the door. Handoff Mills, right side, lowers the shoulder inside the 5-yard line, carrying the pile, and he's down at about the 3-yard line. Pickup of 5 yards. That time, Michael Mills just barreled over the Cougar defensive line.
And if you get him on a halfway decent running start, he's a tough guy to bring down. You got to chop him low.
2nd down and goal from the 3 for Edmonson County. We approach the 11-minute mark here of quarter number 1, or half number 1, rather. Meredith under center, an extra blocker in there in Daughtry. Pitch to Swihart.
Nice
He's
play.
Immediately hit on the edge, coming around the side. It was a quarterback blitz by Caden Hanshaw. Made the first hit. He doesn't end up getting the tackle, but he gets an assist because it's a loss of 3 yards back to the 6-yard line.
I know for sure that was not designed because we don't have a single cornerback blitz in the playbook, but that's just a player using his instincts and a stud being a stud.
In fact, I look over to the far side. Mr. Spirit is now in the building, and he was loving that play.
Yes, he was. I think everybody on that sideline was.
If you're watching on K105 Digital Productions, you see the orange blob on the upper left-hand corner of your screen. That is Mr. Spirit. He's here. He's ready to roll. 6-0. 3rd down and goal from the 6. Quarterback sneak up the middle. Dives towards the goal. Ball does come out. Loose ball. Grayson County says they have it. We'll wait for the signal, and it is Grayson County ball. Down at the 1-yard line. Looks like Sawyer Drake fell on it. And that is a huge break in the game for Grayson. The defense comes away with a huge turnover, and let's see where they're going to end up placing this. I think it's going to be at the 1. maybe the 2. Well, 1.5. I don't know.
Give it to us at the 1. I want the 99-yard touchdown.
I think it will go down as the 2. Well, no, the scoreboard says 1, so we're going to say 1, Kaler.
All
Placing
right.
their own
I like
1-yard line with 10:06 to play. Huge play of the game. The defense needed a play, and they came up with it. Chafin's under center. And he's going to go his own quarterback sneak right side, getting some more space. Carries the pile with him.
I like that.
And he gets down up to about the 6-yard line. About a 5-yard run for Colby Chafin's.
I mean, that really wasn't designed to do that, but you'll take it.
Chafin's had 3 rushing touchdowns in the game against Hopkins County Central on last Friday in the scrimmage. I know Colby is not, I kind of like to describe him as a runner. Is athleticism-wise, he's kind of like a Joe Burrow, where he is not
Deceptive.
Lamar Jackson, but he's not Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, where he can't. So he's kind of in that middle where he's sneaky fast.
He can run, yes.
Hand off to Hanshaw up the middle, goes back towards the far side of the field. Near that first down marker, Hanshaw needed 5, and that might have been exactly what he got. They are going to move the chains. First down, Cougars. As Hanshaw gets up to the, looks like maybe the 13-yard line, give him 7 yards on the run. 9:20 left here in the first quarter. Or first half, 6-0, Cougs on top. Six nothing, 9 minutes to play. Handoff on the misdirection to Ethan Mudd across the right side. He bounces it out, and he's going to be driven in the wrong direction. Noah Meredith, he broke a tackle, tried to make something happen.
15 yards for us.
And yes, there was a late penalty flag after the play. I think David
Unsportsmanlike.
Finn came in after the play and immediately came up, puts his hands out, and he's walking off the field because he knows that his coach is going to take him out regardless.
I saw it. Blindside. I mean, there was just that's boneheaded.
Personal foul called against Edmonson County. And that'll be an automatic first down for the Cougars after they were driven backwards for a loss of about 5 or 6 on the run by Ethan Mudd. So that'll move the ball up to the 24-yard line. The personal foul for Edmonson, we talked about it, that whichever team keeps their head in the game is going to be huge at this.
And that's, I don't know, he looks like he's taking his pads off now. I guess he's done.
Or at least coach says, we'll talk to you after halftime. 6-0.
I mean, that's 15 yards. And probably more than that if you consider the loss.
Draw, run, near side, Hanshaw. He'll pick up a couple, gets up to about the 27-yard line, give him 3 yards, bring up second down, and, well, maybe about 6 on the runs. Looks like he might have gotten a little bit more. At least on the far side, it appears that case. Hanshaw did a good job there in being very patient.
Yes.
Waiting for that hole to open up.
And that's rare in a young running back to kind of fill out his blocks, let his blocks set up. He kind of wants to hit that hole and just go. But I'm really impressed by what I've seen him letting those blocks kind of set up.
Hanshaw remains behind Chafin's. Edmonson County showing blitz, and they're going to blow this play dead. And that probably should have been a free play. As jumping off sides was Seth Baker for Edmonson County. That'll be a free 5 yards, and it'll bring up 2nd and 1 now. And what is that now? 3 penalties on Edmonton, 0 on Grayson to start.
And these hidden yards, they add up. I mean, what was that, a loss of 3 on Ethan's run that should have been?
5 or 6 probably.
I mean, that's a 20-yard penalty if you take it into account.
And when you look down in games like this, rivalries,
those
one or
matter.
2 plays can be the difference, especially early where it's 6-0, Cougs on top, 7:40 left in the first half. Misdirection hand. No, Chafin's ends up keeping it, rolling down here to the near side. Big block, throwing off the hands of Jaden Kinney. A huge block by one of his linemen came around the edge, and it was Weston Green came and laid out an end chasing Colby Chafin's.
I mean, that's a hard throw. He was getting pressured, rolling to his left, throwing across his body. And you just got to be okay with missing those. It was 2nd and short. You didn't lose much by doing that. It was just a big shot play. I think he was more wanting to see if Grayson had a beat on the corner out here. But I'm okay with that miss if I'm Colby. Because, I mean, that's...
And you're 3rd and 1.
I mean, 3rd and 1, Okay, what did I miss? A yard?
And now you can almost just do a little quarterback sneak and get your yard. Instead, it'll be a handoff. Hanshaw, he's got the hole, hits it, and he's got the first down as he gets it up to the 37-yard line. Now we got some extracurriculars after the play. And a punch was just thrown. A punch was just thrown by number 6, William Sailing for Edmonson County, and now this game is getting hot, and another penalty came out. And I think William Sailing is going to be hitting the showers a little early. He threw a punch at Grayson County player on the far side. I didn't see who he had right
I think it was Colby. That's back.
And they're going to have to talk this over, but I do believe that will end up in an ejection, and it happened right in front of the White House.
Yeah, I mean, because that was the second one, too. This might be offset, maybe?
We'll have to see. There is a bunch of penalty flags. The head official picked his flag up and threw it a second time, which I don't think he's supposed to do. I think he's
use your hat, yeah.
But it's first game of the season.
21's leaving with him. Did he throw a punch, too? Who's 21?
21 for Edmonson County is Harley Adamson.
Did he throw one? I didn't.
I did not see
I just saw the first one.
And that was thrown by William Sailing,
Yeah,
number 6.
he didn't do a good job hiding that.
And let's see. The official is coming down and talking. 2 of them are coming to talk to Edmonson County. 1 is going to talk to Brian Jones. Since 2 are coming to the near side, that would probably tell me
2 penalties here, 1 there.
And let's see. We'll have to talk this over.
Man, I love football season.
I mean, that got very chippy.
I love it.
2 schools don't like one another.
But there's a lot of schools that I don't like, I'm going to be honest.
There any that you like?
I didn't have a problem with Ohio.
Oh, well. I know that there was one class at Grayson County High School that did have a problem with Ohio.
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Okay. Personal foul.
Yeah.
Against Edmonson County.
We knew that one.
Okay, that one I would assume is against William Sailing. And that's it.
Is that it? Wow. You know what? I like it. Let them fight back.
And we at least did not see an ejection.
Well, I would assume.
Well, let's see here.
Number 5 is probably gone.
Well, I think he did. Was that meaning another personal foul was called against Edmonson County, and he's ejected?
Yeah.
So
is that a third? That is 30.
So that'll be a 30-yard penalty.
That's 50 yards off
and somebody is ejected for Edmonson County, and I do believe it is William Sailing, the 5'10" sophomore. And I do not see a number 6 on the field anymore.
He was 5. That would be David Finn, the senior.
I thought it was 6 that threw the punch.
5.
Now they're going back the other way.
Yeah, so I thought there was one on us because we kind of fought back and protected Colby. But, if I'm Jones, I'm not mad at going back at him for hitting your quarterback. I know as a quarterback, I'm definitely not mad at it. Ethan Hall, I need your input.
He says to tell him to take the helmets off and let him roll.
I like it.
Spoken like a true offensive lineman.
Yeah.
So it looks like the ball, after all of this, I'm not really sure.
It looked like a 15-yard penalty.
Something like that. The ball's going to be placed on the 49-yard line. It's going to turn out to be like a 18-yard penalty.
No, we jumped.
And false start's going to move things backwards, and this drive is now getting off. So let's just reset. Grayson County leads 6-0, 7:24 to play in the first half. 5-yard penalty now called against Grayson County that'll drive things backwards. And if you're the Cougars here, this is where you almost need a senior leader to step up in the huddle and say, okay.
I'm looking at Jaron or Sawyer, really.
To say, yes, it's chippy, but we're not going to be the chippy.
Yeah, we're just going to talk with the pads. Don't do anything stupid.
Because the officials have already thrown one man player out. You do not want a second. Misdirection handoff, far side Mudd. He turns upfield. He's got space to work. He crosses the 50, gets down to about the 48-yard line. Mudd had pretty much one man in front of him as he hit that hole. Might have hit it just a little slow, and if he'd have hit it a little quicker, we'd have seen the thunder from Nathan Mudd.
If he didn't have to cut back that second time, he might have had it. Mudd,
though, still will pick up about 7 yards on the run under 7 minutes to play here in the first half of play. It is 6-0. Grayson County on top of Edmonson County. 2nd down and 8 after an Edmonson County player has already been ejected in the contest. In the gun will go Chaffins. 2 wide receivers down here to the near side and the right side. Chaffins sets up the pass on the far side. Diving attempt at it for Kenton Cornwell. It's off his fingertips and out of bounds. Bring up 3rd down and 8. I like that call, though, from Brian Jones, because I think Colby Chaffins just
he
needs
has yet to settle in. Yeah,
he needs to settle.
And the one completion he does have was a negative 2 yards. So, I mean,
to Caden Henshaw on the screen.
He needs to see one go past the line of scrimmage.
And not to the other team.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say that, but that helps.
I can say it. 6:34 to play here in the first half. 6-0. Cougs on top. 2 on each side. The running back to the right of Chaffins. High snap. Chaffins fakes the handoff. Looks to run. It's an RPO. He runs. He's got space across the far side. Lowers his shoulder as he gets down inside the 35-yard line. Down to the 30. What a run by Colby Chaffins. Lowering the shoulder. Looking like a running back of his own. 15 yards first down Cougs.
And that's something he needed to get going.
Because I think that acts the same as a completion.
Yeah, it did. I mean, it was a huge play, 3rd and long. Makes a guy miss in the backfield and then uses his legs, those deceptively fast legs, and then lowers his shoulder into somebody to pick up another extra 3.
And that's kind of why I mentioned the whole, like, Joe Burrow thing, where Burrow has that extra burst, and he's not afraid to lower his shoulder and get somebody. And that's how you become great.
You lure them to sleep, you've not ran it, and then pull it once.
Handoff misdirection to Hanshaw, right up the middle, breaks a tackle, bounces off of another man, gets down inside the 25-yard line, down to the 24, 8 yards on the pickup for Caden Hanshaw. And that'll bring up 2nd down and 2 for the Cougs. And this drive, remember, started all the way back at the 1-yard line.
It's been a crazy one.
There have been penalties, there have been ejections, there's been shoulders lowered.
Yeah.
And punches thrown.
I mean, it looks like the rumble in the jungle out here.
Football. In the Tobacco Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Both of these teams want that tobacco stick to be painted in their colors here in about 2 hours. Under center, Chaffins. Handoff Hanshaw again. He bounces it out, tries to get away from one, breaks a second, lowers his shoulder, gets down inside the 20-yard line, tosses the ball to the official as he gets down to the 17-yard line. 7 yards, first down Cougs. And I am loving what I'm seeing from Caden Hanshaw as a running back today.
The only thing I didn't like there, it's very technical. He didn't have the ball. You want that ball on the sidearm side, so I mean sideline side. He kind of had it in that right side. You got guys coming from this side, prying, punching at it. You get it closer to the sideline, there's not as many people there.
See, that's another thing, too, is he's a freshman.
Exactly.
Like, that'll be things.
He fixes it.
If that's the worst part about that, you're feeling pretty good because that's very fixable. Chafin steps up under center. Mudd and Hanshaw behind him in the backfield, a wide receiver on each side. Van Meter is not in the game right now. He left with an injury earlier, and we're going to have a timeout taken on the far side of the field.
And I think that'll be our last one
by
of the
Brian
half.
Jones. It is the final timeout. Van Meter was not in the game, and I see him over on the sideline. I believe that's him
with
down
Scott,
on the knee.
Yeah. He might be getting something taped.
Oh, that is him over there with Scott, with trainer Scott Ballman right now. And knowing Jaron, I know you know Jaron a lot better than I do, Kaylor, but I feel like there's no way he's not playing this game.
Well, he's going to play in just about every game. Because he played the back half of last year with that shoulder injury
and played quarterback.
And played quarterback with his throwing arm hurt.
And didn't look bad.
No, passed for 2 touchdowns in one game.
And as Brian Jones said, how many snaps had Jaron Van Meter taken in his career in practice prior to that?
0.
I mean, Kaylor, you played quarterback a long time.
It's not easy. No.
It's not easy.
It takes years to get really.
And that says, I said this morning on our morning show when we were talking about this game tonight that I think Jaron Van Meter, you don't want Sawyer Drake to get hurt, but if your left tackle went down, I think you could put Jaron Van Meter out there at left tackle, and he would at least make the defensive end.
He would make them work.
Yes.
It wouldn't be an easy rip, I can tell you that.
But I wouldn't want to be the guy going against him.
No, I mean, he'd make it miserable. Even if you did beat him every play, he would make it miserable.
In fact, we got an extra blocker, it looks like. Drake has shifted on the inside. Yep. Or at least Drake is at guard right now.
We're still in the same formation.
It's just
we have a tight end now.
On the right side,
yep.
Jaden Kinney. Handoff. No, it's thrown over the far side, wide
there
open.
Oh.
Off the hands and incomplete. Mason Carroll had it, and it's incomplete.
And, hey, Colby, I mean, that was perfect.
They lulled him to sleep. The cornerback was fooled on the fake handoff,
and Colby can't put that on him. I mean,
no,
that was about as perfect as a ball you could put. And, I mean, Mason can't let that in the back of his head either. I mean, drops happen. There's a thing called being too open, and that just happened.
The official at first, when he put the ball down, he put it at the 16-yard line when it should have been at the 17. He caught it, but I was thinking at first Grayson County was going to get a free yard there. But that is not the case. 2nd and 10 for Grayson County. Ball placed in the Edmonson 17-yard line. Chaffins and Carroll switch to the far side of the field. Cougs working from right to left. Colby Chaffins under center. It's a pitch to Mudd. Mudd turns upfield. Big block by Kinney across the far side. Mudd spins down near the 10-yard line. And he's going to get down to the 11. That's a 6-yard pickup by Ethan Mudd. Good run.
That's what I love about Ethan is he doesn't try to string a play out and hit the sideline and then go. He sees a hole. He's hitting it. It doesn't matter if it's designed to go outside. He sees a hole.
And I thought that was a really good block on the outside, too, by
yeah.
Jaden Kinney.
They forced him out. And he's like, okay, if you want to force that guy out, I'm just going to cut underneath of it.
3rd down and 4 will come up for the Cougs. 4:10 left in the first half. 6-0. Grayson County leads. This drive started all the way back at the 1-yard line. Chaffins under center. Van Meter still remains on the bench for Grayson. He's no longer getting checked out, though, on the sideline. It's a pitch. Hanshaw across the 10-yard line inside the 5. He's inside the end zone. Touchdown, Cougars. Caden Hanshaw from 11 yards out, and Grayson has a 12-0 lead.
I think we'll probably keep Jaron out the rest of the half just to be safe. And Ethan Mudd's hurt, too.
And Jaron Van Meter is running onto the field right on cue, but he is also the holder.
That looks like him.
11-yard touchdown run, Grayson
Who is slow to get up? It is Ethan Mudd. He's being carried off the field by his offensive lineman.
That's not a good sign.
Just picked him up and carried him, and trainer Scott Ballman is coming. Well, now they're setting him down.
It might be a cramp.
It is the first game of the season.
Yeah,
now they're laying him down, and Scott Ballman, the trainer, shout out to Scott, is running. Always have to give one shout out a game to Scott. Hardest working man in Grayson County.
He is. I mean, he puts in countless hours.
Yes, and it's a lot of hours, too. And I mean, in all seriousness, like I joke about it, but in all seriousness, trainers put in a ton of work because Scott is not just the football trainer.
He's
he
every
is the
sport.
Volleyball trainer. He's the soccer trainer, the cross-country trainer. If golf needed a trainer, he'd be the golf trainer.
I mean, golf might. I mean, I've golfed once or twice, and, I mean, my shoulders.
Our director, Trey Cook, is a member of the Cougar golf team, and I'm sure if Trey hurt himself playing golf, that Scott would help him out. He nods his head and says yes.
If I hurt myself playing golf, I probably wouldn't let anybody know because that's a little embarrassing.
Well, I mean, if your back injury or something like that, twisted.
Yes, I would say I was doing something else, lifting, something like that.
Listen, it happens. Golfers, golf's a top sport.
Yeah, it is. I'm not very good.
Caden Hanshaw has ran in the 11-yard touchdown. Ethan Mudd is being helped off the field. He is not putting any weight. I think it's his right leg, which makes me fear that it is not a cramp.
Yeah. But I've had some cramps that were very, very bad, and you didn't put any weight on them.
And let's hope that that's one of these cases here. That, and I see Ethan Hall, former Cougar, he writes in and calls you the greatest quarterback to come through Grayson County, and then calls Scott the greatest trainer to ever come through Grayson County. I guess I'm just a average broadcaster. I guess I haven't reached that point.
Yeah, you don't get a shout out yet.
Grayson County's going to keep the offense out onto the field. 3:45 left here. This is a 2-point conversion. Last year on 2-point conversions, Grayson County 6 of 11. Van Meter led the team in the category. Chaffins under center. Van Meter and Hanshaw are in the backfield. It's a pitch to Hanshaw up the near side of the field. Bounced outside, spins, goes up. He's got it. 2-point conversion. Good by Caden Hanshaw. His first career touchdown and his first career 2-point conversion makes it 14-0 Cougs. 3:45 to play here in the first half. This is Cougar football on K105.
The governor has declared a state of emergency, and evacuation is now underway as the storm approaches. The National Weather Service has issued a warning as it monitors the storm. Moves the following counties therefore should seek.
Convoy of Hope is ready to help you prepare for the next storm. Visit convoy.org/prepare.
The doctor said I had a 29% chance to find a blood stem cell donor. But I knew you were out there. And when we matched, it was the best day ever. Dear donor, your blood stem cells saved me from leukemia. Thank you forever and ever and ever.
Experience the true joy of saving a life at BeTheMatch.org.
Grayson County leads 14-0, 3:45 left here in the first half of play. That was just about as wild of a drive as you're going to get, but Taylor, the thing that matters the most,
scored.
Touchdown, and that's what the Cougs got there.
We made up for that missed extra point earlier.
It is 14-0 Grayson. You know what I do here, Taylor? Drop the onside kick.
I don't know.
Lane Beasley, he is a new kicker. Jackson Kane, I think, without question, you're on.
Jackson Kane against Muhlenberg County. That's
3 of them
on the turf field.
Yeah, he got the bounce and everything. He was a man that day. Lane Beasley to kick. Edmonson County standing back at the 25-yard line. He is going to kick it away, and it's a really good kick over the shoulder. It bounces inside the 10-yard line. It's picked up by Colton White. He's trying to make it space, and a great tackle made inside the 15-yard line. What a kick by Lane
And then he
Beasley.
goes back to get his own tee. What a man.
That's a kicker.
That is a kicker and a half. A kicker and a T-boy.
We need to get one of the dogs trained. Have you seen those where they have the
on
dogs
the
trained to
NFL,
go
yeah.
get it? Yeah. Well, got to find a freshman to put on that or something. Start training the dogs. I'm sure. I don't know if Coach Jones has a dog, but I'm sure he does.
I think he does.
Got to get. I know Coach Smart did, who would come to practice.
Coach Smart had multiple.
I know one at least would come to practice quite often.
Yeah, Hershey.
That's right. I couldn't remember
the MVP of practice.
It's the I formation for Edmonson County here, placed on their own 15-yard line. Mills on the run up across the left side. He dives underneath kind of the legs of his offensive lineman and squirts through and picks up about 4 yards, gets up to the 19-yard line.
If you're us, you really want a quick stop and try to get up 3 possessions before this half ends.
3:22 to play here in the first half. Grayson County leads 14-0. Ethan Hall writes in and says that I'm at least the second best commentator to come through. And listen, I'm not Dave Thompson. I fully admit that. I'll never be that. So second best, I will take that. I will take that. At least I'm not the worst.
I wonder who his first is.
Got to be Dave Thompson. 2nd down and 7. Handoff, Mills, misdirection. He goes up across the left side near the first down marker, but he is going to be about a yard or 2 short as he gets it up to about the 23-yard line, so to bring up 3rd down and 2 with 2:43 to play here in the first half. Actually, it'll end up going to the 24, so it gets a little bit more yardage there, and a 2.5 to play. And I'm sure this is a weird scenario for Edmonson, is you do not want to leave too much time, because the biggest thing too is Grayson, big old goose egg as far as timeouts.
Yeah, I mean, because if you don't get this here and you don't want to go for it, part of you doesn't want to go for it because, I mean, you give it back with.
And you get the ball to start the
second
half.
So, I mean, that's a tough situation.
Under center goes Meredith, 3rd down and short. It'll be a handoff to Daughtry. He did not get it. It's a loss of a yard. The fullback Daughtry got it and was driven backwards. Sawyer Drake in there, and that's again. We've really seen about half the runs for Edmonton have turned into that, where it's just swallowed up by that massive defensive line, and it's going to be a loss of 2. And interesting timeout here by Edmonson County with 1:46 left.
You better be coming up with a really good play.
And you got to go for it, I think, if you call that timeout. Because why are you?
You don't call a timeout to punt there,
unless you run the clock all the way down and call the timeout to, with 1 second left on the play clock.
Or you pull a Mike Vrabel, run it down, get the delay game, let the clock keep running. I don't think that rolls in high school, though.
I don't think it is. 1:46 left here in the first half. It is 14-0. Grayson County has the lead. And we do want to invite you to stay tuned at halftime of today's game. We'll have our Cougar Conversation segment. Taylor, we started big this week. We went to the top with Superintendent Doug Robinson. We're going to hear about back to school. There have been a lot of construction going on at different schools as well. A big construction project going on at the high school, Caneyville, Grayson County Middle School. If you have students there and you've been seeing it and wondering, Mr. Robinson will tell us more about that. And I just asked him, what he feels about the Cougs and how he feels and about the optimism. And he gives his thoughts on that. Obviously, as I said, he has been at every level. He's been a coach, he's been an administrator, he's been a dad, he's been a player for Grayson County. So here in the 50th year of Grayson County High School, there aren't many that know it better than him. Does appear that the offense is staying out on the field for Edmonson. Maybe a hard now they're dropping back, and maybe we're going to see a punt.
I don't think it's a punt.
You think a fake?
Yeah, I think that he's going to take it and run.
That is, it's a direct snap up the middle, and he didn't get it. In fact, I'm not really sure what happened there.
I don't know what that was, but it didn't work.
It reminded me of the Indianapolis
Colts play. Yes. That was the most pathetic fake punt in history.
And that is going to be a turnover on downs. Grayson County's going to get it deep in Edmonson County territory.
Yeah, I don't get.
Did they think it was third down?
I don't know, but I wouldn't be wasting no timeout for that.
So it's a turnover on downs. It's a loss of 5 yards on the play. Zach Vincent, the second-year head coach, was holding out both of his hands, and I think maybe they screwed that up some. That had to have been like the Colts play. Well, now they're pushing it to the 21. So it's only a 2-yard loss. But still, Grayson County, you're in 1:40 left here in the first half. You can run the ball now.
Yeah, I mean, because clock stops on first down. You get out of bounds, it stops. I mean, you get to the perimeter. I mean, you still have a lot of time. You could work the middle of the field, too, if you want.
First down and 10 for Grayson County, placing the Edmonson 21-yard line. They have a chance to go up 3 scores here. Chafin's in the gun. Handoff, Hanshaw up. No, it's kept over to the far side. It's looped up the far sideline, diving out of bounds.
And that's about as perfect as it can get.
A little bubble screen on the far side. Was that to Van Meter or was it to Cornwell?
Kenton.
It was to Cornwell across the far side of the field.
Get 10 yards, get out of bounds. I mean, that's about as flawless as we could have done that. And the hidden bonus of that play is Colby
has his first completion for positive yards.
A positive completion. And I know that's a much harder throw than people think it is. On the run, a bubble route, probably the hardest throw I ever had to make.
And you can tell now, Colby settled in.
Yeah.
He got hit. He feels good now. 2 wide receivers on each side. Hanshaw to the right of Chaffins in the gun. First down and 10. It's a low snap. Chaffins picks it up. He's going to roll out to the far side of the field. Keeps his eyes up. He's going to run across the far side of the field. Penalty flag comes in. Dives towards the goal line. There's no signal, but there's a penalty flag, and I think it was on Grayson.
Flag on the play.
Even if it was, that settles Colby in even more. You just made a busted play into a touchdown. I don't get who held, though, because, I mean, it was on the back side.
It does appear that it is against Grayson County. Holding called against the Cougars.
And if I'm Colby, I'm fine with it. I mean, this gives me more time to prove that I can still throw the ball. I mean,
because now you're looking at. Well, I guess they didn't end up picking up the first down on that last play. I thought they had. It was second and 1.
But I mean, this, as a passer, you have more room to work now.
That'll turn out to be like a 5-yard holding penalty, because they'll push it back here to the 18-yard line. It looks like it's placed, so it's a 6-yard holding penalty.
And the clock doesn't start, so I mean, it's. No, now it does. But I mean, it wasn't a full rolling clock, so I mean, it's not the end of the world.
1:20 and counting left here in the first half. Chaffins remains in the shotgun. Low snap again. He's going to have to go. He picks it up. He's going to roll over to the far side, and he's going to stay on his feet. It's probably one he's going to be thrown down by 3 Edmonson County players, and he's inbounds. Probably one he's just got to throw away. You're outside the pocket.
Yeah, I don't know if he had a receiver in the area, though, and he's not experienced enough to know in that situation, just get rid of it. That's something that comes with age. That's something Jones will probably go over with him Monday. Yeah.
That'll be a loss of 7 yards. The first sack of the game for Edmonson County. 45 seconds and counting to play here in the first half. 14-0. Grayson County has the lead. What are you doing here? 3rd and 15.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a screen, but part of me would with the result last time. But I would expect a seam shot again, maybe, if they bring this pressure like it looks like.
Another bad snap, and Chaffins just falls on it this time. Back to the 37-yard line, and that could be the final play of the half. As long as Edmonson County doesn't call a timeout, and I don't know why you would.
Why are we trying to rush
They're hurrying it up? Are they just going to take a shot?
I'm okay with it. Just
8 seconds,
make sure if it's a low snap.
Colby's got an arm. Let's see what he does. He's going to step up in the pocket, and he is going to let it fly. It is not to the end zone, streaking down the field, and it's incomplete. I mean, he got it pretty close. He had a receiver, but regardless, It is the end of the first half. It was, I think, Grayson Chafin streaking down the far sideline. He went diving after it, but he was out of bounds. The end of the first half of play. Grayson County leads 14-0. We'll come back. Halftime is next on K105.
Some days are just better than others.
I think you should go talk to someone.
It's not that easy.
Have you been thinking about suicide? You can talk to me, Dad.
It's been a tough couple of months.
The doctor said I had a 29% chance to find a blood stem cell donor. But I knew you were out there. And when we matched, it was the best day ever. Dear donor, your blood stem cells saved me from leukemia. Thank you forever and ever and ever.
Experience the true joy of saving a life at BeTheMatch.org.
K105.
Welcome back here to Edmonson County High School, where the Cougars lead 14-0 at the half. Sam Gormley and Kaylor Decker back here with you on the call. And Kaylor, we saw some good things in that first half. It doesn't end up with points, but I think as a whole, Brian Jones probably fairly pleased.
Yeah, half and half. When it's good, it's been really good, but there's been a lot of bad too. And I think this first half was kind of just that feeling out, getting the wrinkles out, getting the nerves. So hopefully this next half you don't see that. Like 3 straight low snaps, that's you can't be having that at any point.
Especially when you're in the red zone.
Yeah, especially whenever you're working off a turnover right before the half. You can't afford to lose time.
Because that could have been a kill shot.
Yeah. I mean, it was. I mean, and that penalty too, even though it was off the low snap, that was a touchdown. And
even if not, it was down at the 1.
Yeah,
which you got to feel pretty good about putting your chances in. Grayson County leads 14-0 at the half. We'll take a break, come back with a little bit more as this is Cougar football on K105.
Are you ready to help your family get prepared for the unexpected? Here we go! Ladybug and Cat Noir know how important it is to be ready, because you never know when Hawkmoth is going to strike or a disaster will hit. And you don't need miraculous powers. Just put those planning skills you already have to good use. Make a plan that will help you and your family be ready when emergencies happen. Ready Kids can help. Get started at ready.gov/kids.
We had an MRI, and then all of a sudden this doctor comes in and he says to us, we have the potential here for a catastrophic event.
And he looked scared.
He looked terrified. And he's like, we got to operate now. It just all changed. Life changed.
Bryce is one of the 47 children per day who are diagnosed with cancer. Today's treatments aren't enough. To watch the rest of Bryce's story, visit childrenscancer.org/story.
For the more than 1 million people living with Parkinson's disease, the Parkinson's Foundation celebrates movement at Moving Day, a movement toward life-saving resources, movement toward advancing research and care, movement toward a better life. We care. We fight. We move to beat Parkinson's. Move with us at movingdaywalk.org.
The governor has declared a state of emergency, and evacuation is now underway as the storm approaches. The National Weather Service has issued a warning as it monitors the storm. Those in the following counties, therefore, should seek.
Convoy of Hope is ready to help you prepare for the next storm. Visit convoy.org/prepare.
Cougar football on K105.
Welcome back here to Edmonson County High School. Grayson County has a 14-0 lead at the half. We'll try to run out a quick score or two from around the region. see what we can find here as we before we get into our Cougar Conversation segment. Owensboro trails Christian Academy of Louisville 21-7 early in the third quarter. That's a good team that they're playing Owensboro to open up the year. Butler County does win. They defeat Russellville 29-7. Let's see here what else we can do. Marshall County and Bethlehem are in early in the third quarter. Let's see if we can't get a score here. And we scroll. It is 34-7. Bethlehem leads Marshall County, who is Cougars' opponent next week. Glasgow leads LaRue County at the half, 14-0. Franklin Simpson on top of Christian County, 40-14. And late in the fourth quarter of that game, Barron County leads Metcalfe County, 14-0. Owensboro Catholic all over Apollo, 36-0. That game is at the half right now for a running clock scenario. Those are most of the scores that I see from around the region. 14-0, Grayson County leads Edmonson County. When we come back, it'll be our Cougar Conversation segment with Superintendent Doug Robinson. This is Cougar Football on K105.
How do you define success? Is it in the mastery of skills, in teamwork, in responsibility and self-discipline? Is it found through communication or through problem solving, innovation? Is it in the inches of small victories that lead down miles of self-discovery to a destination where potential and purpose meet? Prepared and confident, Grayson County Schools. Success is what you make it.
When I found out my son was addicted to opiates, I didn't know where to turn. Now I know there's help, and you can call, whether you're a family member, a sibling, or the person with the addiction. And the number is 1-833-8-KY-HELP. Call for the resources. They're going to help you with compassion and care and the knowledge of what's available to get you the help you need.
Are you looking for the best building materials in Litchfield? Look no further than Future Designs Building Materials. The builder's choice on Quarry Road has everything you need to build your dream home. Jim writes, I'm so glad I came to Future Designs for my new roof. The staff was so helpful and knowledgeable, and they made sure I got the right materials for my needs. Thanks, Jim. Future Designs is more than just a building materials store. Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield. FDBM.net.
Building on experience.
Welcome back to our halftime show here on K105. It's time for another edition of Cougar Conversations today, joined by Superintendent Doug Robinson, getting us ready for the brand new school year. And Superintendent, you had the new start to the new year. You've been back in for a couple of weeks now. How has the start gone?
Hey, thanks, Sam. We've had
we've had
a great start of the school year. We've had a lot of it was a lot of preparation to get things ready. We had a lot of construction this summer, but we were able to kind of pull those off to get our air back going. But we've had a lot of smiling faces the first week and a half.
You mentioned the construction, and that's kind of one of the first points that I went, is because I think for the most part, every school had something going on really this summer. What have been some of those construction projects, and how have they been going?
Yeah, they've been going well. We had a major renovation there at the middle school, and it's been going on for about a year, and we've got about 6 months left. But we've tried to tackle the HVAC at the middle school, a new ceiling grid, and LED lighting, and we've done some work in the gym and the locker rooms there as well. Nice. Down at Caneyville, we're doing the same thing with the heating and cooling, ceiling, and we also, there at Caneyville, we've had some foundation problems. We had to come in and kind of stabilize the foundation on one end of the building, and you've seen that at the high school. We've had a little bit of the gym wall kind of leaning out, so we've had to do some repair work on that as well at the high school.
I know that every school year, and even it might be multiple school years, you all try to do some semblance of a theme for the year. And I know you've got a new one this year. What is that theme, and how do you want the students to take that and run with it?
Yeah. Every year we've this year's just kind of been focused on kind of what we're here for, and that's really our primary focus is teaching students. And I love talking about or being involved with the student, the learning process of school.
I know that I have been in and out of the district. We've been filming commercials, we've been filming the students, and I know that back to school, it's always the sign of optimism in my eyes for what these students have. You see the smiles on the faces, seeing the kids. Do you kind of get that feel that the kids are just happy to be back? And you already know that the parents are happy to get them out as well.
Yeah, it's a fresh start every year, and it's kind of it's a reboot in a sense. For the students, they come in with a fresh start. The teachers come in with a fresh new class. And so, I think everybody was just, I have the back to school jitters in my stomach when school's about ready to get started. So I know the students do and our staff as well. And it is an excitement.
I know that this year we're celebrating a milestone, as especially at Grayson County High School. It's the 50th year that the school has been open, and because of that, you're having like the 50th year of Cougar football, 50th year of Cougar basketball, and so on, and across all of the sports. You've been lucky enough to really serve in every single role in Cougar sports. You've been a coach, you've been a player, you've been a dad, you've been a superintendent, you've been a principal. When you think back across those 50 years, what are some of your favorite memories across all of those roles?
Yeah, one thing about the Football Alumni Association is doing something next week there with Mr. Lush and his crew, and just getting to meet some of those people that played years before I was even around here, and talking about their impact that the programs have had on them. And so to me, that's the neat part, is looking over the 50 years of just the good quality people that's been involved in those programs.
You mentioned that with Roger Lush, and that was actually my next question, because obviously this is airing right now during the Edmonson County game, so less than a week from when this is airing on Thursday, it is going to be his Alumni Association banquet. I know Coach Mick Caba, who is the first ever head coach for Cougar football, is going to be speaking. You are going to be speaking. What do you think that night is going to look like, and what is it going to feel like to see all of the eras of Cougar football and really Grayson County High School come together?
Yeah, I've never met Coach, and so I'm just kind of interested in meeting him and listening to some of their stories when they first get those programs going. And, when the school consolidated, it was kind of trying to bring everybody together under one roof as Grayson County. So I think it'd be interesting seeing their perspective and just listen to those stories of some of the different coaches during the time period.
I know we're really excited to get the sports year rolling again. You still get to be a dad for at least a couple of more years and cheering on Hayden playing on the basketball team. But as a whole, how do you feel about the Cougars this year?
Yeah, I feel pretty optimistic just listening to some of the kids that have come in and out of my house, whether it's football or cross country, some of those basketball's coming up. So, one thing I will say, I've been around some of those kids since they were around preschool. They are a great group of young men and young ladies that represent the Cougars on a day in and day out basis. So I'm excited to get this year going sports-wise.
We're excited as well, and I know we'll be talking to you again throughout the season as well. So what we'll do is we'll get back to the action. This has been your first edition of Cougar Conversations for this year.
The doctor said I had a 29% chance to find a blood stem cell donor, but I knew you were out there. And when we matched, it was the best day ever. Dear donor, your blood stem cells saved me from leukemia. Thank you forever and ever and ever.
Experience the true joy of saving a life at BeTheMatch.org.
For the more than 1 million people living with Parkinson's disease, the Parkinson's Foundation celebrates movement at Moving Day, a movement toward life-saving resources, movement toward advancing research and care, movement toward a better life. We care. We fight. We move to beat Parkinson's. Move with us at movingdaywalk.org.
The governor has declared a state of emergency, and evacuation is now underway as the storm approaches. The National Weather Service has issued a warning as it monitors the storm. Includes the following counties therefore should seek.
Convoy of Hope is ready to help you prepare for the next storm. Visit convoy.org/prepare.
How do you define success? Is it in the mastery of skills, in teamwork, in responsibility and self-discipline? Is it found through communication or through problem solving, innovation? Is it in the inches of small victories that lead down miles of self-discovery to a destination where potential and purpose meet? Prepared and confident, Grayson County Schools. Success is what you make it.
Cougar football on K105.
Welcome back here to Edmonson County High School, where it is 14-0. Cougs lead at the half, and Kayla, we got about a minute until we have to head back to break here. But running it down really quick, started off first drive of the season, ends on a 2-yard Jaron Van Meter touchdown. Next drive, Colby Chaffins throws an interception, but Edmonson County driving, forces the fumble deep in the red zone. That's been the biggest play maybe in this game, and then that drive ends with an 11-yard touchdown run by Caden Hanshaw. Was it perfect? No. But was it the first game of the season?
Yes.
Yes, and I think if this half would have happened against Hancock County the last game of the season, I don't know that Brian Jones would have any hair left in his beard. He probably would have ripped it out. But with being the first game, I think that probably has to make him feel a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, there's a part of him still relieved a little bit, being like, okay, I think more of him wants to see how they respond to that more than what they do with it.
Take a break. Second half's next. 14-0. Grayson County leads. Cougar football on K105.
When I found out my son was addicted to opiates, I didn't know where to turn. Now I know there's help, and you can call, whether you're a family member, a sibling, or the person with the addiction. And the number is 1-833-8-KY-HELP. Call for the resources. They're going to help you with compassion and care and the knowledge of what's available to get you the help you need.
Here's a simple truth about higher education.
If pursuing your purpose, doing what you really care about matters.
If having a rewarding career matters.
If a better financial future for you and your family matters.
Then higher education matters. A brighter future is within your reach. Find out how at kyhigheredmatters.org. Brought to you by this station and the Kentucky Broadcasters Association.
Some days are just better than others.
I think you should go talk to someone.
It's not that easy.
Have you been thinking about suicide? You can talk to me, Dad.
It's been a tough couple of months.
We had an MRI, and then all of a sudden this doctor comes in and he says to us, we have the potential here for a catastrophic event.
And he looked scared.
He looked terrified. And he's like, we got to operate now. It just all changed. Life changed.
Bryce is one of the 47 children per day who are diagnosed with cancer. Today's treatments aren't enough. To watch the rest of Bryce's story, visit childrenscancer.org/story.
105. Cougar football on K105.
Welcome back here to Edmonson County High School. Grayson County and Edmonson County about ready to get underway in the second half of action. Grayson County will be kicking off from right to left on your radio dial. Sam Gormley and Kaylor Decker with you. And like we said, Kaylor, good things, bad things, and things to work on.
Yeah, I want to see how we respond to those bad things in the first half.
The lights are off in the press box, and that's when you know that we're
about to get
ready to roll.
serious.
I always like to keep the booth lights off, personally.
Yeah, I feel a lot more involved in the game.
It does. It makes it feel a little bit better. To kick will be Lane Beasley from right to left. Beasley will let it away. It is a shorter kick caught by one of the upbacks at the 32-yard line, and that is Doherty, or Doherty rather, and Doherty is driven backwards. And was that Jimmy Lear, I believe, on the tackle?
So.
Number 25 came in and made the tackle for Grayson County, drives them backwards And it'll be a 2-yard loss on the run by Doherty.
And, I mean, that's a heck of a play because, I mean, he plays outside linebacker too, and if with Jaron being a little bit of a question mark the rest of the game, that's how you get your playing time.
Officially, the ball will be placed back at the Edmonson County 28-yard line. I think the Edmonson County offense had a couple of big plays, but still I think is looking for that extra edge because on the interior, I think the interior of the defensive line for Grayson has been really good. Handoff in the backfield, right on edge. Conrad Raymond comes across the edge and makes a tackle, breaking down Mills for a loss of a couple of yards.
And, I mean, Michael's going to get his. He's going to break your 5 to 10 yarders every once in a while, but you have to limit those and force negative plays so that those don't hurt you in the long run.
Conrad Raymond, first time we've called his name tonight. He's grown both in height and also in size as well, similar to Kenton Cornwell. He's really invested in his body.
A lot of those guys that are playing right now have gotten much stronger and bigger in the offseason.
2nd and 14. 14-0 Grayson County leads. Ball placed on the Edmonson County 24-yard line. Senior quarterback Meredith under center, pitch to Mills. He goes across the left side, met by Raymond again. He's turning back field to come back here towards the near side, being chased by a host of Cougars. Coming in to make the tackle for a big loss for Grayson County. Was it Mason Carroll?
That was Caden. Took his legs out.
Caden Hanshaw came in to come around because at first Conrad Raymond turned him back the other way. Back-to-back plays for Raymond, and the Wildcats are going the wrong way. A loss of 7 yards.
And that's a great disciplined play by Caden because as a backside corner, you can at times, if you see the toss going the other way, kind of give up on the play already or even take a high pursuit angle, but he did a great job at staying backside when it got forced back to him.
10:27 to play, 3rd down and a country mile. It says 20 here for Edmonton. It might, I guess that is about right, 20, and we're going to have a timeout on the field, an official timeout, I believe.
No, I think they're telling those kids to move.
Yeah, there's some kids sitting underneath of the goalpost. Like one of the Edmonson County coaches just said, get out of the way. I don't know that was an Edmonson County. That might have been a Grayson County. Wearing orange. Whatever you can do to get in the mind of Edmonson County, right?
I love it.
In the gun, Meredith rolls out to the far side. He hasn't attempted a pass yet. He's going to throw. It is complete in the flat across the far side to the 20.
And you're okay with that.
It is up to the 27-yard line. I thought I saw backside a penalty, but I guess not. It might have just been a piece of turf that flew up into the air. It'll bring up 4th down and 10. You give him about 10 yards on the little dump-off.
And we played that right. I mean, Mason knew that it was 3rd and forever. I mean, so he just sat on the backside corner route that came to him and let the hitch be caught in front of him, and everybody else rallied to the ball. 4th
and 10. This will be really interesting what Edmonton does here. They have run the ball, but I mean, their longest run is what, maybe 10?
They broke that first one for about 15.
But other than that, they have not. And it looks like actually they're going to punt it away. 4th down and 10. And it's actually a decent punt. Goes over the head. No one's back to return it for Grayson. It's ended up picking up on the bounce.
That one, he probably made the right call on that one. It looked like it might have coming back a little bit.
Back at the Grayson County 43-yard line, and that is where the Cougars are going to get their first offensive possession of half number 2. And Kaler, the offense, I think really other than those bad snaps, pretty solid interception.
Your negatives have been really negative. But overall, I've been really impressed with the running game.
And I think that the biggest thing is that Caden Hanshaw, I think he's been the bright spot right now. At the end of the game, we will give away the Sheriff Norman Chafin's player of the game. And if Caden Hanshaw right now is probably...
Yeah, he is.
He is the leading candidate right now. Trips to the right side. Hanshaw fakes the handoff to him, dumps it off to the far side to Cornwell. He's outside the numbers, and he speeds up down across the 50-yard line, and a penalty backside comes in. Hanshaw was sitting on his backside looking at the official when it happened. Hanshaw went to pick something off. It looks like somebody almost ripped something off of him. Or he tossed it then to Weston Green.
I don't think it would be on Caden because, I mean, he was the token fake guy. So... he really wasn't there to block.
Let's see what the penalty flag is. He's looking at Edmonson County. Personal foul called against the Wildcats. And the completion to Cornwell is going to give Grayson extra yardage.
And this is just keep your head about you still. We've not really done anything back to them this whole game. Stay composed.
Brian Jones talked about it in our pregame conversation that he wanted to make sure his kids kept his head in the game. Last week against Hopkins County Central, it was very chippy, and there was a little bit of retaliation on Grayson County's side, and Jones not thrilled about that because those are things you can control.
Mm-hmm. Like holds, they happen.
Yeah, that's it. False starts even. Sometimes it just happens. I think Grayson had the one. Was it Grayson that had the one last year where he just fell over pretty much because he?
Yeah, he fell straight in his face. It was pretty funny.
Trips to the right side. Chaffins fakes the handoff, direct run right side, tries to bounce outside. We have a penalty flag coming in. Dougherty comes in and brings him down for a tackle. And Grayson County's clapping in the backfield, which makes me almost think that it might be on the Wildcats again. Let's see. No, it is holding called against Grayson.
Holding against Grayson County.
And I always like it there. They have to go look at the opposing sideline to say, hey, did you want to accept this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, no, I don't.
It's like, no, I think I just want to give him the couple of yards there. As it'll bring up remaining first down. The ball will be pushed back to the 44-yard line. So it will be your true 10-yard holding penalty. It'll bring up first down and 20. (14-0). Grayson County has the lead against the Wildcats of Edmonton. 8:50 left here in quarter number 3. In the gun will go Chaffins. Hanshaw to his left side, trips to the right side, one wide receiver, all alone down here to the near side. Chaffins to set up a screen. It's complete to Hanshaw at the 45-yard line. He's got it up the middle. He's up the seam at the 35, brought down near the 30-yard line. Great run by Caden Hanshaw. And Kayla, I know last year you talked a lot, especially early with Waylon Bruce. He had a bad habit of trying to go outside on the screen. Hanshaw did exactly what he was supposed to do and go right up the seam.
The screen is designed to be in the middle, but sometimes you do have to read your blocks, and it will get cut outside, but that's not the design of it, and Waylon had a bad tendency of just immediately wanting to shoot outside.
And he got better throughout the season.
He did.
And the screen, when done correctly, can be a very dangerous play, especially if Colby can get better at that deep pass.
Yeah.
2nd and 8, 12 yards will go on the completion to Caden Hanshaw. Trips down here to the left side. Hanshaw in the backfield. They fake the handoff to him, kept by Chaffins up the middle. He dives across the 30-yard line. Brought down on the play by Casey Webb for Edmonson County. And it gets down after a pickup of 3 yards down at the 29-yard line. 3rd and about 5 for Grayson now. And you're in 4-down territory. I think you're probably keeping the ball on the ground here right now, aren't you? You going to Hanshaw, or are you going to try and go outside maybe with another one of those bubble screens?
Well, I mean, those bubble screens can be either. They're actually designed to where if Colby reads it and that end isn't coming down, he'll give it. But
looks like they're in the eye. And it's a handoff up the middle. No, kept on a triple option by Chaffins or across the right side. He's going to be real close, but it looks like he's a yard short. He needed the 24, only got to the 25.
Nah, go for it again. They can't keep you from getting a yard.
4th and 1.
They haven't proven they can do that all game.
Actually, it's going to be more like 4th and 1.5. Not the greatest spot in the world. And would QB sneak here?
With a 6'4" quarterback, it's not the worst idea.
Now, we were talking about this morning and trying to remember the last time Grayson County had a quarterback. Heck,
over 6 foot.
Yes, because, I mean, you're, 5'10" for
5'11", 5'10", yeah.
Hunter was 5'8"-ish.
Noah was 5'8"-ish.
Yes, and before that, I guess the Garys were...
Logan wasn't 6. The Garys at that time weren't 6.
Penalty flag comes in, and it is a false start called against Grayson.
Hunter might have been 6 on the dot.
Hunter Gary?
Yeah.
But 6'4", you'd have to go back a long way to the last time Grayson County probably had a quarterback that tall. That is not what you wanted, as the false start makes it now 4th and 6.
And you're in the no man's land where it's not worth a punt.
But now I think you almost have to put the ball in the air.
Yeah. But, you have to prove to Colby, too, that you have the confidence in him to do this.
Or maybe a pitch to Hanshaw and try and get him outside the numbers and see what he can't do in space. You've got trips to the right side, ball placed in the far hash, 4th and about 6 or 7 coming up for the Cougars. A bad snap on the ground. Chaffins has it. He's on his feet, and he's got nothing. That snap barely made it a yard. Yeah. And it'll be a turnover on downs.
It's number 4.
And again, we touched on it earlier. Grayson County's usual center, Jake Lasley, is injured and not playing today. And because of that, Ryan Jones told me before the game that he still, at that point, didn't even know who was going to be the starting center. Edmonson will get it at their own 30-yard line. 5 minutes, 48 seconds left in the third quarter. Cougs still hang on to the 14-0 lead here in the Tobacco Bowl. Grayson County has won this game 4 straight times. In the 47th edition of this game, Mills on the run up the middle. He breaks a tackle. It bounces off of one, gets across the 35-yard line, up near the 40. That'll be enough for a first down to move the chains for Edmonson County, 10-yard pickup.
And you can't let them start getting momentum now. This is the worst time. They're at home. They have stuff to feed off.
And it's 14-0.
Yeah, I mean,
that's why that touchdown at the end of the half is going to be one you're going to think about. I think back to, and I'm not trying to bring up bad memories for you, a couple of years ago at Breckenridge County, where drove down, missed the opportunity at the end of the first half. And those come back to haunt in close games.
And they stay.
Sorry, not trying to bring back bad memories.
Oh, it's been there.
Handoff Mills, turns back to the left side, and he's got about 5 or 6 there. Mills has really been, for the most part, I think Grayson has done a really good job against him, but in his last 2 carries, he's gotten 17 yards.
He does remind me of a type of back that will get stronger as the game goes on. You don't want to hit him there as much towards the end of the game. You're sore. He's kind of that Derrick Henry bruising style, where if you looked at the stat, I think Derrick Henry has tripled his yards in the fourth quarter compared to the other 3.
And you better hope that that's not the case here in this situation. 4:40 and counting left here in the third quarter of play. Mills left side breaks a tackle. He's across the 45, inside the 40. He's got space to work. 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown Edmonson County. A 53-yard touchdown run by Michael Mills. And just like that, the Tobacco Bowl gets interesting.
Yes, it's never a it is a blowout sometimes, but majority of the time it's not.
And I've yet to see a truly close Tobacco Bowl. This was the 6th one. Last year was 33-12. We've had 33-18 before, but I've not had a single-digit Tobacco Bowl. I'd have to go back and look to see the last time that happened. Edmonson's going to keep the offense. No, they're going to attempt an extra point. The extra point will be taken by Colton White. They have not made an extra point, Edmonson County, since October the 15th of 2021. They didn't attempt one. They need a T, though. And they're going to have to take a timeout because of it.
That might be why they didn't make one.
And they did not even attempt one last year.
You might need a T. Actually, some people prefer it off the ground.
4:26. And that's a huge timeout. Huge timeout in the game. In fact, we can look here at the history of the Tobacco Bowl to see the last time that this game was close, really on either side, because Edmonson County has had their fair share
of blowouts.
See, the last time it was single digits, you have to go back to 2012, where it was back-to-back years. In 2012, it was 15-13 Grayson. The year prior was 27-26 Edmonson County. Ironically enough, both winning on the opposite team's field.
That makes it even better.
There have been plenty of close games in the history. Looking back to 2008, 14-8 Edmonson. In 2006, 39-36 Edmonson. 25-22 Edmonson the year prior to that. There have been plenty of these games that have been close. Going back to 1981, it was 10-6. Here comes the extra point attempt. Placed down, kicks up. It's long enough, and he split the uprights. 14-7, 4:26 to go here in quarter number 3. This is Cougar football on K105.
doctor said I had a 29% chance to find a blood stem cell donor. But I knew you were out there. And when we matched, it was the best day ever. Dear donor, your blood stem cells saved me from leukemia. Thank you forever and ever and ever.
Experience the true joy of saving a life at BeTheMatch.org.
14-7, Grayson County has the advantage, but Edmonson County just punched in a 53-yard touchdown run by Michael Mills. And the Wildcats will kick away with 4:26. One of the big stories of this game is that Jaron Van Meter has not been in most of this game. It's a kick on the ground, and Jimmy Lear picks it up. He's going to make a run for it. He's got space across the 50, lowers the shoulder, gets across the 45, down to the 43. Jimmy Lear, we've called his name now on back-to-back special teams plays.
And that's something you don't see much from a guy who doesn't have as much experience, is knowing whenever that hole's there, just hit it and get what you can. Because you don't have any blockers.
And you better believe Brian Jones,
he sees that.
Makes a mental note of that. Because those are the plays that can be huge of doing it. So officially the ball will be placed to the 43-yard line. 4:22 left in quarter number 3. Kaylor, you need a touchdown.
Oh, yeah. Shut them up. That's the best thing to do. I don't know if you'd rather do a quick drive and score or a long drive. I think probably a long drive, bleed the clock out a little bit and kind of drain them physically.
Or you punch them right away.
Either way, just score.
A 43-yard touchdown would work. It's a handoff on the fullback dive right up the middle, run by Conrad Raymond. And he carries it down to about the 41-yard line. You can give Raymond, well, actually the 42. They're going to give it 1 yard. Jaron Van Meter has really not been in the game since
the second quarter.
Early second quarter. He came in for one play at the end, and you better believe that's a worry because knowing Jaron, if he could be out there, he'd be out there. And you never know if the coaches said, hey, it's a long season, and in all reality, this game means nothing in the long run.
Yeah, it does, but it doesn't.
In the I formation, 3.5 left in this third quarter. Chaffins fakes the handoff, gives it to Hanshaw up the middle, dives across the 40-yard line down to the 38. Hanshaw picks up about 4 yards on the run. And, to the 39. I tell you, the spots haven't been too kind.
No, it's the first game for them, too.
I thought that one was more to the 38. .309 and counting left here in quarter number 3. Third down and about 6 for Grayson County. Chaffins in the gun, Hanshaw to the right, trips to the right side. One wide receiver down here to the near side of the field. Chaffins rolls out to the far side. He has men, and he is tackled high around the head, and he is sacked for a big loss. Michael Mills came around the edge, hit him very high.
And
it was close, but there was no. I don't think
it was helmet to helmet.
No, because I think it was with his arm.
Yeah, it was, and that's where somewhere Caden Henshaw probably improved the most. Have to, or he won't be on the field, is pass protection. He's got to see that he's got nobody on his front side, so he's got to peel back to the black side and make sure that nobody gets him from the backside.
Grayson County now has a punter running onto the field, and it is going to be Lane Beasley who will take the punt for the Cougars, as it was a loss of 8 yards on the play for Colby Chaffins. Good snap. Beasley, it's a boot of a punt too. Nobody is back to get it, and it takes a big Grayson County bounce rolling inside the 15-yard line, and it's going to be down at about the 10. Lane Beasley turns out a 43-yard punt for the sophomore. It'll be Edmonson County ball, 1:43 left here in quarter number 3, 14-7. And this is a huge drive for this defense. 11-yard line of Edmonson is where the ball will be placed. Mills is the deep back. They'll give it to Mills up the middle, and this time again swallowed up. It's been, we've really seen, Mills is getting 2 or 6, 7, 8, 53.
Yeah, I mean, there's no in between.
They're not really giving him much 4-yard runs here, and looks like that will be 2. Up to the 13-yard line, minute 20 and counting here in quarter number 3, the Tobacco Bowl.
And I think on this defense now, Sawyer really has to be the one to step up. He's the one setting the point on the defensive line because you know they're going to run it. There's nobody in that secondary that can really make much of a difference here. So it's got to be up to you to set the point, get everybody
but
behind
the secondary can't get
no, they can't be lazy.
Because Edmonson County very well could drop one, and next thing you know, it's 14-all. Mills again, left side, and again, there's the defense coming up with a big play, bringing him for maybe after a gain of 1 yard across that far side of the field. It will be a gain of 1, 3rd down, and about 7 for Edmonson County. They, I believe, will have to snap it one more time here in this quarter. As we got about 30 seconds and counting left in quarter number 3. Let's see what they do here. You're 3rd and 7, and I think you got to give Mills the ball.
Yeah,
he's your guy.
He's your number one guy. And this isn't the NFL where you have to throw for it on 3rd and 5+.
It'll be a pitch. Mills, near side, breaking through the line. He's got space to work. He's across the 20, dives across. He's very close to the 1st down.
And that's
a pretty generous spot.
That was a touchdown-saving tackle, if anything.
And it is enough for a 1st down for Edmonson County with 3.9 seconds left in quarter number 3. He'll get it to the 22-yard line. That'll bring us to the end of this 3rd quarter. The Tobacco Bowl coming down to the edge. It's 14-7, Grayson. This is Cougar football on K105.
No matter what you're up against, we have your back.
We are United Way.
We are neighbors helping neighbors.
In communities around the world, when disaster strikes,
We get you back on your feet.
We help children build brighter futures.
We've been here for over 135 years.
But now, our work is more important than ever.
Join us.
Join your neighbors.
Join United Way.
The doctor said I had a 29% chance to find a blood stem cell donor. But I knew you were out there. And when we matched, it was the best day ever. Dear donor, your blood stem cells saved me from leukemia. Thank you forever and ever and ever.
Experience the true joy of saving a life at BeTheMatch.org.
Welcome back here to Edmonson County High School, where it is 14-7. Edmonson County trails Grayson County, but the Wildcats have the ball. Now that's still at the Edmonson County 22-yard line, but old Uncle Mo is wearing blue and red right now.
Yep.
Momentum is in the way of the Wildcats. You can tell they're starting to feed off of this crowd here in Brownsville tonight.
And that's the number one thing we got to do now is take the crowd out of it. Make it 11 on 11.
Comes the first play. It'll be 1st down and 10 for the Wildcats. They just picked up the 1st down on the run by Michael Mills. And this time it's a direct run, and it's a big run by the quarterback right up the middle. He keeps it himself, calls his own number, and picks up 10 yards, and that's another 1st down for Edmonson County. Getting it up to the 32-yard line. The Wildcat offense through the first, about half a dozen drives, not great. The last 2,
pretty good.
Exactly what Zach Vincent drew up. As the clock continues to tick here at Edmonson County High School. The clock is the best friend of the blue and orange of Grayson. Handoff up the middle on the fullback dive down to the up to the 40-yard line. Looks like that was Daugherty. One of these days I'll be able to say his last name. Daugherty gets it. And he'll carry it to the 40-yard line. 8 yards, though, and these last plays, I mean, the last couple of plays, 8, 10, 8.
You can't. That's just too many. I mean, you're okay with it every 10 plays, but every 2 is not what you can live with.
Pitch far side Mills. Space to work. He's got a big hole across the far sideline. 50. Down inside the 45. Down to the 40-yard line. Michael Mills is feeling it. And so are the Wildcats. They have not won this game since 2017. And Michael Mills picks up 18 yards and a first down, Edmonson County. Somebody's got to step up on that defense and make a play.
I mean, they're just laying down for him at this point.
And that play doesn't necessarily need to be a turnover. It can just be a big hit.
Yeah, tackle for loss, big hit, something to get the energy back on that side.
I formation, Meredith under center. It's a give to Daugherty
There
up
you
the middle,
go.
and there it is. Driven right backwards. The defensive line comes in there to make the tackle.
And that looked like Matthew Phillips.
I believe you are correct in saying coming in there, the first man to make contact, Matthew Phillips. And everything also 1 yard on the play.
If you can get them behind the chains, they struggle.
How about the official down there? Braden Mudd, his shoes untied, so the head official leaned down there and tied it for him.
What a man.
That's a great job right there. Give that man a raise. Braden Mudd's got to share his game check tonight, I guess, right? Big ol' 0.
Yeah.
Or maybe McDonald's cheeseburger later or something.
Well, I think it's going to depend on if they win or not.
That is very true. Second down and 11, 14-7. Handoff up the middle. Mills bursts through. Big hole. First down, Edmonson County. Across the 35, down to the 31. Mills picks up 12. First down.
That's not good for them. He's been a little slow.
He's coming off the field. But I don't know Michael Mills.
Well, I mean, it doesn't.
But I feel like he's going to be a guy that he's going to be ready to go back in the game as soon as he
It doesn't take Michael Mills to run through the holes that have been there this drive.
First and 10 for Edmonson County. 9:20 and counting here in the ball game. Dangerous point here for the Cougars of Grayson County. Handoff up the middle, and there's nothing there at all. Noah Meredith comes in to try and push his backup running back, Carter Swihart. But Swihart was immediately driven backwards by the Grayson County defense. No gain. And it's been only no gain or big play on these past couple of drives.
And, I mean, you got to, if you're going to give up positive yards, it's got to be within 2.
Because 2 every, that's going to get you.
You're not going to get the first down. And I mean, and if you keep a team like this behind the chains, it keeps getting harder and harder for them.
And here's the thing, Edmonson County, they're going for it.
Yeah, and you got to know that.
They're at home. They're going to feed off this energy. Meredith pitch to the far side of the field. That's a new running back in the game, and a big tackle made.
Ball
comes out. Stephen Lee, I think, came in. Looks like Grayson County has it. Wait for the signal. He got it. Cougar ball. I think, was it Stephen Lee that came in and made the tackle across the edge? The new running back was Colton White, who came in and he immediately puts the ball on the turf. Cougar football.
Weston Green, I think, recovered it.
What a play. We were talking somebody had to step up and make one. Stephen Lee and Weston Green combined to make the biggest play on this young season, and it's not even close.
And, I mean, now you got to score.
Or you need a 6-minute drive.
Yeah, or I just prefer score. Put it out of reach.
Because you want to force Edmonton to pass.
Yeah. Put them in a passing situation. They aren't. I don't. No offense.
32-yard line is where the ball is placed. Trips to the left side. Chafin's in the shotgun formation. You got to keep the ball on the ground. Nope, they're going to fake it. Chafin's rolls out to the far side looking to pass. Still keeps his eyes up. He's going to run. Pick up maybe 1 or 2. Does go out of bounds.
I know it wasn't a big game, but I'm okay with that because he didn't force anything. Now, I know where he was trying to go with his primary read, and there was a slant this side, but the corner was cheated inside, and he should have just stayed with the play side play and handed it off. But somebody I know made that mistake in the game and threw a pick 6. Yeah. But he didn't do that. He kept with the play, just took what was there.
Is that Ethan Hall that threw that pick six?
No.
Will
No.
Scott?
No, there was the guy behind him.
Be a 1 yard gain officially. Second down and 9, 8:04 left here in this quarter of play. Handoff Hanshaw up the middle. He runs into a wall and is bounced backwards at the 35-yard line and gets maybe about 3 yards to the 36-yard line. Now you're at 3rd and 6.
Yeah. I think the whole playbook's open here.
Yeah, it's tough. Edmonson County has 2 timeouts. Grayson County has 3. 7.5 to play. I think you got to start running this clock all the way down to before the.
Yeah, and I don't know if he's told Colby to look for the official putting his hand up and start ticking. It looks like it.
There it is. Chaffins will pass. Looks like he's setting up a screen. No, he's going to let it fly, and it's
Nice
caught. What a
catch.
catch by Grayson Chaffins at the 50-yard line. Takes a big hit down to the 45. Grayson Chaffins extends high in the air, grabs it. First down, Cougs.
Hey, that's one where you give a little extra high five to your receiver on that.
A heck of a catch by Grayson Chaffins over the middle. He pulls it down. That is a pickup of 21 yards. And first down, Grayson County, 7:08 to play here in the ball game. 14-7, Grayson County has the lead. Placed on the Edmonson County 45 now.
And that was a great play by Colby, too, to step up in the pocket, not panic. The pressure came up on the outside, so he just stepped underneath of it and delivered it.
That's a
It was
senior play.
it was poised.
Chaffins has a running back on each side of him. Fakes the handoff to Cornwell, gives it to Hanshaw, comes down here towards the near side, outside the numbers across the 40, and he's slung down out of bounds about the 37-yard line, and immediately it's almost like it's amazing what one play can do, because it looks like a completely different Grayson County team out there. Jaden Kinney was a little slow to get up after that play, grabbing his knee. He might be cramping a little bit. You can see him, or maybe he's just fixing his pant leg as well. Down to the right side. That'll be a pickup of 8 yards, though. It'll bring up 2nd down and 2 for the Cougars. It's amazing what one play can do.
It is. I mean, that whole sideline, everybody on that sideline, including the fans, got a sudden jolt that we didn't have 5 minutes ago.
14-7, Grayson County has the lead. Be a handoff. Hanshaw tries to bounce it outside at the left side, and he's wrapped up from behind. Nice play made by Casey Webb across that outside for Edmonton, and it's going to be a loss of a couple of yards.
Casey Webb brings up 3rd down, Grayson County.
Be a loss of 2 for Hanshaw. It's really the first bad run of the night for Hanshaw, and that really wasn't necessarily even his fault.
Yeah, I mean, it was just good defense on their side. I mean, they made them string it out, and the linebacker was there to clean it up.
Casey Webb's a big dude, 6'2", 245-pound defensive lineman. It's a guy you don't want to run into. 5:10 left in the game. Clock is running in the favor of Grayson. They have the 7-point advantage. Taking the handoff, throwing over the far side, complete to Cornwell. First down and more, up the far sideline, inside and down to the 20-yard line. Kenton Cornwell reaches out, puts the right hand in the air, and points towards the end zone because that's a first down, Grayson.
And, I mean, that was great recognition by Colby. Pulled it, saw that there was no flat defender out there to anywhere within 10 yards of him, and just let an athlete be an athlete.
Looks like that will be down to the 22-yard line, 17 yards. First down, Grayson. But maybe even Michael Mills is coming off the field limping a little bit as well. He's got to be gassed, too.
Yeah, I mean,
he's had a great game.
I think at this point they're probably going to try to save him for offense.
But obviously Grayson County, they see that clock right in their eyes. That is their best friend in the entire world. Because time is undefeated. Kinney down here to the near side. Handoff Hanshaw. Bounces outside across the far sideline. He's inside the 10-yard line. Dives inside the 5. Hanshaw. Heck, he almost got into the end zone. The will to succeed, and we have a timeout called by Zach Vincent. Hanshaw is down at maybe about the 3-yard line officially. 4:21 to go. It'll look like it will be maybe either the 2 or the 3. Can't tell exactly on that far sideline. It does appear, I don't know, what do you think, a 2.5 maybe?
It doesn't matter. We'll score.
I like the confidence.
I know.
I like the confidence. Grayson County next week will be playing against Marshall County at home. That'll be homecoming. It'll be a 7 o'clock start time. 6:30 will be our coverage right here on KY5 Digital Productions. It starts a 3-game homestand for the Cougars. They will host Marshall County, McLean County, and Butler County before that new district opens up with a pair of road games at Moore and at Bullitt Central. I know we've had a lot of former Cougars posting, recent Cougars especially, letting us know they've been watching today in the comments. If you're watching on K105 Digital Productions, make sure you let us know. In fact, we even had a former Cougar text in from the class of 1981, John Gary. Give him a shout out for listening as well here tonight. 4:21 to go in the game. If Grayson County could score a touchdown, you would think that the tobacco stick will remain painted in orange and blue.
But never want to say anything's for certain.
Never say never again.
I've seen crazy.
Especially in the Tobacco Bowl. I'm
Yeah.
going to say the 3. Hanshaw got 19 on the run.
And there's the
It's
snap.
a bad snap over the head of Chaffins. He picks it up, and he is going to be dropped for a loss of a couple of yards.
And right now, if that happens again, I just want to see Colby fall on it.
Fall on it.
Yeah, I mean, don't
Bad
try
things
to.
can happen
You
when you
don't
pick
try
it
to
up.
pick it up. They can pick it up and go score. So just get on it.
That'll be a loss as he gets back to the 10-yard line. That will be a loss of 7 yards. Now, if you score, that might be a good thing because it's forcing more time to come off that clock because the clock is your best friend right now.
But if that,
even if you don't score, you're going to have to force Edmonds to go the length of the field.
yeah, and I think you go for it here because I mean I think you'll have better success trying to run your offense and trying to use a new kicker and long holder and everything.
Handoff, Hanshaw, left side. He dives and he's wrapped up as he gets down inside the 10-yard line near about the 5. 3rd down and goal will come up for Grayson County. Looks like Hanshaw got that right at about the 5-yard line. So 5 yards on the run for the freshman running back Caden Hanshaw, who has had himself a great game here in his debut.
I'd say this time you're going to keep it on the ground or we're going to read it and maybe throw that little bubble route. We're not doing anything risky. We want to keep this clock running as much as we can.
Edmonson County has 1 timeout remaining. You presume that if this ball's tackled inbounds, I think I call that.
Yeah, because then we can just bleed it all. So, I mean, smart coaching, yes. But if you're Grayson County, you have to remember, do not go out of bounds and give them one on offense.
Cornwell is to the right. Hanshaw is to the left of Colby Chaffins. There is a timeout on the field. We're going to take it with him. 2:42 to go, 14-7. Grayson has the lead. The Cougar football on K105.
The doctor said I had a 29% chance to find a blood stem cell donor. But I knew you were out there. And when we matched, it was the best day ever. Dear donor, your blood stem cells saved me from leukemia. Thank you forever and ever and ever.
Experience the true joy of saving a life at BeTheMatch.org.
How do you define success? Is it in the mastery of skills, in teamwork, in responsibility and self-discipline? Is it found through communication or through problem solving, innovation? Is it in the inches of small victories that lead down miles of self-discovery to a destination where potential and purpose meet? Prepared and confident, Grayson County Schools. Success is what you make it.
Grayson County has it. They're going to snap the ball here coming as it is a ball, bad snap, going back and falling on it is Edmonson County. It looks like it. Another bad snap, and it is Edmonson County ball. The last thing Grayson County wanted is a fumble on 3rd down and goal. And now the Edmonson County Wildcats with 2:36 to go have a timeout. They are going to have to go quite a few yards, but things are interesting now.
And I don't know if you saw it, but that was where Colby not falling on it made a difference. Because if he falls on it, you still get another 40 seconds, maybe, if they don't call that timeout.
Or you force them to call the timeout.
Or you force that timeout out of their hands so they don't have it.
Set it up. Grayson County leads 14-7, 2:36 to go in the game. Edmonson County trails in this, but they have the football placed in their own 21-yard line. It's a handoff to Mills. He does a stiff arm, comes here towards the near sideline. He stepped inbounds. Great tackle by Caden Hanshaw to get to him before he went out of bounds as he crosses the 30-yard line. It stops the clock to move the chains, but then they have to move it. Great play made by Caden Hanshaw. Yes, he still picked up 11, but inbounds is huge.
Gain of 10, good for a Wildcat first down.
And we can't think they have to pass here because
I don't know why they haven't run the clock yet. It's a handoff right side Mills.
Nice
and he's
hit.
Stopped on the inside of the defensive line for Grayson. And it's to the 35-yard line. You can give him about 3. That clock should have run a lot earlier. There should be probably about 10 extra seconds off. And I'm not blaming clock operators here. I think that was the official not winding it in time. Under 2 minutes to go. 14-7. Grayson County has the lead against Edmonson County. They led 14-0 at the end of the first half. The Wildcats have really fallen down. Ball's out. Loose ball. Fighting for it underneath, and it looks like Edmonson County did come down with it.
Don't know
I think
what
I saw
happened.
the official call a dead play. So what happened is Noah Meredith, the quarterback,
tripped.
stepped on his offensive lineman's foot. You know those pesky offensive linemen? They got big feet down there, and sometimes you step on
Did they call a timeout?
They did.
Okay, I was
If
about to
not,
say.
they are working on doing it right now. There is a timeout being taken.
Well,
with
they
1
ran the
minute
clock.
and 41 seconds to go in the game. Officially, that will be no gain, which is a gift for Edmonton that they did get any gain off
It's
of
a
that.
good play for both sides.
1:41 to go in the game. 14-7 is the score. What is Brian Jones telling his defense right now? Or Kevin Embry in there as well.
I'm not telling them bend, don't break. I would still want them to play aggressive in this situation. The chances of them taking the top off, you can live with them making you lose with their arm. I don't think they're going to do it, but Edmonton could surprise me. I don't see this as I see this quarterback taking off here. I don't see him passing.
3rd down and 7 will be here for Edmonton County. Actually, that was a Grayson County timeout, at least what the scoreboard says.
I don't know why. I don't think we would have taken it.
I don't know why Grayson County would have
Because
taken
Edmonton went off the sideline first.
Yes. They're winding the clock is what the official says.
Then
He's
why-
saying wind the clock.
What are we doing? That doesn't.
I'm not really sure what the stoppage play. Now there's okay.
Oh.
He's saying wind the clock. Okay, 1:30 and counting now. They took time off the clock, and here they go. It's running to the far side of the field. Noah Meredith, he rolls out to that far side. 3rd down and long. Throws complete. First down, Edmonton County across the 50-yard line. Squirting down to the 45. Michael Mills, he dumps it to him to the 45-yard line.
You're still okay with that. They had to run to the middle of the field. No timeouts.
1:18 to go in the game. 14-7.
And
Here comes the clock winding.
look who's back in.
It's Jaron Van Meter. I think he's got a brace on his left knee. It appears so. And we have a whistle blown before the play.
Offsides.
It is offsides called against Grayson County. 1:06 to go. 14-7. That does stop the clock.
Yep, this is these game situations like this is where the difference between good and great teams separate themselves. Great teams can keep their head on their shoulders when the lights are bright, pressure's there.
And the biggest thing is here, no stupid penalties.
Yeah, don't do anything dumb.
That's one thing that Brian Jones got to be happy about. There have been no dumb penalties for
Yeah,
Grayson.
no, there hasn't been.
There have been for Edmonton. Pitch, near side, Mills trying to get the edge, and he does. He's got space to work. He's across the 35-yard line, out of bounds, down to the 31. 49 seconds left on the clock.
And he's limping.
Mills with a gain of 12 on the carry. That's good for another.
That's huge.
First down.
Mills has had a big game.
And you can see it. His body's, it's taking a toll.
Looks like I think Van Meter is, no, I guess he is in there in the slot out there. He knew he wanted to be in there for the biggest drive of the game. He hasn't been in a lot. One of their best players. Carter Swihart checks in as a running back. 49 seconds to go. 14-7. Swihart now will shift as a slot receiver. Meredith will roll out to the far side of the field. He will pass. Now he's going to scramble. He's got space across that far sideline. Bobbles out. The ball comes out. Loose ball. Grayson County might have had it. They're going to talk it over. Are they going to say he was down or not? The officials blow it dead. They're going to stop the clock, and they're going to have to talk this over. 30.5 seconds on the clock. 14-7, loose ball, and I think they're going to say the player was down.
I did think he landed on his head before.
He gets down to the 26-yard line, 5-yard pickup. 30.5 seconds to go. It'll bring up, really, the downs doesn't matter. It's second down.
No.
Edmonson County needs a touchdown, and here's the thing, they're going to go for 2.
Yeah,
I would.
There's two sides to that. I mean, if I'm away, I'm going for it because I'm not playing with the crowd's advantage. But if I'm home, I'm more likely to stay safe because I have the crowd in my back.
Right now with 25 seconds and counting, it's 14-7. Edmonson's got to hurry.
Yeah.
I don't know that they know that the clock is running. 20 seconds and counting. And now we have a timeout or a whistle blowing, a flag. That might be a delay of game on top of it. It is delay of game on Edmonson. And is that not a 10-second runoff?
I think it is.
That might be a 10-second runoff.
I know in the NFL it is.
That'll be a 5-yard penalty regardless. Bring up second down and 10. And again, the down marker really doesn't matter. I guess it's not. 17.3 on the clock. They're going to talk it over. The head official is coming in. He's taking Noah Meredith out of the game, the starting quarterback.
Yeah, it was a legal substitution. He can't come in on a penalty.
So the starting quarterback cannot come into the game. And you are correct in saying that. That's big on it passing down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's 17.3 seconds to go. You really can't run the ball again.
No. You can, but you have to guarantee you get out of bounds.
Or a touchdown.
Yeah. I mean, because that's, especially in a high school offense, that is tough to run it, get set again, and then spike it.
Hobbled Michael Mills comes back in. 17.3 seconds to go. First down and 10 placed on the Grayson County 31-yard line. We're going to spread it out. Michael Mills will be the quarterback. Trips down here to the near side.
And he can throw.
He can. He threw 38 times last season. No, it's actually, yes, it is to Mills down the near side. He's going to let it fly down the seam, and it is almost intercepted off the fingertips of Mason Carroll. Carroll pulls it in.
Yeah, that'd be 6 straight.
Grayson County would be keeping that tobacco stick painted orange and blue. Looking back at the history of this tobacco stick, again, we have yet to have, it's been a while since we've had a close game, and looking at the list, I don't believe that there's been an overtime game in the history of the Tobacco Bowl.
I hope
Meredith
there isn't.
rolls down here towards the near side of the field. He's going to let it fly, throwing into the end zone, and it is incomplete. Third down, that was an incomplete pass. Penalty flag comes in. It's a chop block called against Edmonson County. Chop block called against the Wildcats. 5 seconds remain.
Is this 4th down?
This will be 4th
down.
That's
what I was thinking.
This coming play is the game.
Yep.
5 seconds left. It doesn't matter. Noah Meredith's going to have to throw into the end zone. And here's the thing, if you're Grayson County, don't have a penalty.
Yeah, that's huge.
And also, if the ball comes to you, knock it on the turf.
Yeah,
An interception does not mean anything.
It only helps your stats.
And that means nothing.
That means nothing right now.
It is a chop block. I mean, you almost need a hook and ladder now. Because I can't imagine that Noah Meredith has the arm to get it. The ball is going to be at the Grayson County 46-yard line.
You take into account sideline distance. I mean, this is a 60-something yard throw, and I don't know many high school quarterbacks capable of that.
Cutter Bowley.
Well,
that might be about it.
He's extremely God-gifted, I'll say that.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. 14-7, Grayson County has the lead. Here comes the play. Michael Mills rolls out to the far side. He's going to let it fly. It's well short. It is incomplete. No time on the clock. The tobacco stick remains painted orange and blue. Grayson County defeats Edmonson County and hangs on to win the game by a final score of 14-7. The defense bends, but it does not break. Cougs win 14-7. We'll come back and wrap it up after this. This is Cougar football right here on K105.
Are you looking for the best building materials in Litchfield? Look no further than Future Designs Building Materials. The builder's choice on Quarry Road has everything you need to build your dream home. Jim writes, "I'm so glad I came to Future Designs for my new roof. The staff was so helpful and knowledgeable, and they made sure I got the right materials for my needs. Thanks, Jim." Future Designs is more than just a building materials store. Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield. FDBM.net.
Building on experience.
School where Grayson County, Kaler, there's the old saying, sometimes it's better to win ugly than it is to lose pretty. Welcome to the Tobacco Bowl.
Yeah, it's almost always ugly. I can say that.
And I know if you're watching on K105 Digital Productions, the tobacco stick is in that mass somewhere. And I'm sure Brian Jones, I'm not really sure how to describe how he's probably feeling. Relieved?
Yes, I mean, that's probably the best way. He's probably glad it's over.
Because I think as a whole, this was not a great performance by Grayson County at all.
No. I think they are capable of much more than what showed tonight.
Now, sometimes that's just how the cookie crumbles. And sometimes, and you know what? A lot of credit goes over to the right side of where we are right now in Edmonson County. They played a great game tonight.
They did.
And they deserve a lot. Coming up, we'll jump into our fifth quarter show. Again, your final score tonight, Grayson County hangs on and defeats Edmonson County 14-7 to win their fifth straight Tobacco Bowl. We'll come back and have more after this. It's Cougar football on K105.
When I found out my son was addicted to opiates, I didn't know where to turn. Now I know there's help, and you can call, whether you're a family member, a sibling, or the person with the addiction. And the number is 1-833-8-KY-HELP. Call for the resources. They're going to help you with compassion and care and the knowledge of what's available to get you the help you need.
Cougar football on K105.
Welcome back here to Edmonson County High School, where Grayson County picks up a 14-7 victory against Edmonson County in the Tobacco Bowl. 5 straight wins. We'll take a break. Come back. Fifth quarter show is next on K105.
How do you define success? Is it in the mastery of skills, in teamwork, in responsibility and self-discipline? Is it found through communication or through problem solving, innovation? Is it in the inches of small victories that lead down miles of self-discovery to a destination where potential and purpose meet? Prepared and confident, Grayson County Schools. Success is what you make it.
When I found out my son was addicted to opiates, I didn't know where to turn. Now I know there's help, and you can call, whether you're a family member, a sibling, or the person with the addiction. And the number is 1-833-8-KY-HELP. Call for the resources. They're going to help you with compassion and care and the knowledge of what's available to get you the help you need.
We had an MRI, and then all of a sudden this doctor comes in and he says to us, we have the potential here for a catastrophic event.
And he looked scared.
He looked terrified. And he's like, we got to operate now. It just all changed. Life changed.
Bryce is one of the 47 children per day who are diagnosed with cancer. Today's treatments aren't enough. To watch the rest of Bryce's story, visit childrenscancer.org/story.
Here's a simple truth about higher education.
If pursuing your purpose, doing what you really care about matters.
If having a rewarding career matters.
If a better financial future for you and your family matters.
Then higher education matters. A brighter future is within your reach. Find out how at kyhigheredmatters.org. Brought to you by this station and the Kentucky Broadcasters Association.
Some days are just better than others.
I think you should go talk to someone.
It's not that easy.
Have you been thinking about suicide? You can talk to me, Dad.
It's been a tough couple of months.
Governor has declared a state of emergency, and evacuation is now underway as the storm approaches. The National Weather Service has issued a warning as it monitors the storm move the following counties their fortune sequence.
Convoy of Hope is ready to help you prepare for the next storm. Visit convoy.org/prepare.
Welcome back here to Edmonson County High School, where Grayson County picks up a 14-7 victory against Edmonson County in the Tobacco Bowl. We're joined now by the head coach of the Cougars, head coach Brian Jones. And Coach, I know the old saying goes, better to win than it is to lose, and you won, and in the long run, that's really all that matters.
Yeah, it is, and as I just told the guys down there in the end zone that, ugly wins better than a pretty loss any day of the week, and that one sure was ugly.
I think that you started off the game. Here, I gotta look at here. That first drive, I think, really set the tone in this game, and ends up with the run by Jaron, and then you had the weird muff punt, however we want to call it. And then the other touchdown run there by Caden. What was working for the offense in the first half?
Well, I just really just about anything we wanted, to be honest. I felt like we controlled the line of scrimmage, and so we were able to do several things. I mean, it was really wide open playbook, and Jaron coming out shrinks our playbook. You bringing it back up in, and they're not exposed to the entire repertoire of what you may run, because obviously your reps are going to your ones at practice, and you're working things. So it shrunk us down a little bit, and then we just had another injury, and that was our backup running back. And so then we're going to Conrad, and we're jumping in the eye a little bit because he's more of a traditional fullback. I felt like the shotgun stuff was probably a little better for us. Then we had all the snap struggles. But again, that's our second center. Our first center got hurt last week in the scrimmage and was out this week. So, we preach a lot about, being ready when your number's called, because you never know all you guys that might be twos or one snap away, from being a one. And that tonight, really showed its head and forced us into some ugly situations. At times I felt like offensively we looked really, really, really good. Colby made some really good decisions. I thought Kenton Cornwell stepped in Jaron's place and played absolutely outstanding on the offense side of the ball. A couple of catches and on the bubble screen off a zone option. So he's a guy that is always right around the huddle. When we're on offense in practice, he's right around the huddle. And I've told him, I said, listen, I need you to be able to play multiple positions, because I need you, if this guy is out of play, I need you to play there. If this guy's out of play, I need you to play there. And he really does. He knows probably 3 or 4 different spots for us on the offense side of the ball. And, in a lot of ways, he kept us out of some trouble tonight by just being ready. He was ready for his opportunity. And, I'm proud of him. And I'm proud of the whole group, really, late there in the game, gritting their teeth. They get the ball back. Again, we're getting ready to score and kind of put the game away. Got a somewhat bad snap. A couple of those are coming in about knee-high, I think. I have to watch it back on film. But I think Colby's kind of standing a little too erect and not down like a shortstop would be to field a ground ball. And at this level, you better be ready to field some things that might be a little off. And I think he's a little too up and expecting a perfect snap. And we're not going to get those, especially, with a backup in that's had, 2 or 3 days of snapping the ball. So we've got a lot of work to do. I know that. But like you said, I'll take a win over a loss any day of the week.
You mentioned the Jaron injury. First off, is he okay? I know he came back into the game.
That's Jaron Van Meter.
I know, and that's kind of where the question I was going is I remember back at Greenwood after that game where he went into quarterback. I know the word I used to describe him, and then you followed up with agreeing with it, is he's a warrior. And if that says anything about him, is, he comes in, clearly something was wrong with him, because knowing what I know about him, something had to be wrong for him not to be in, of all games this year, this one.
Yeah, he wanted to come back in much earlier. And I felt like up 2 touchdowns, let's not risk it. They break a real big wrong run, 52. Let's still make them kind of drive the ball on us. And they were starting to drive the ball. And he's standing there and he's like, Coach Jones, I got to go in. So I turned around and asked Dr. Miller. I said, Dr. Miller, I said, he's begging to go in. He said, that's his call. He said, I said, go, and he took off. And I think I could be wrong. I turned around at a glance, and I'm not so sure that he didn't have the first tackle on it when he was back on the field. But, I think he's just he's the heartbeat of our team in a lot of ways. He really is. He just provides a spark. So, I'm not real sure. It's hard to say right now. I'm sure he'll be sore and things like that. But there were some things he felt comfortable doing, and there were some movements that he didn't feel real comfortable doing. And, so we'll see kind of how things progress over the weekend. And, he's one that maybe limited this week in practice, but I'll be honest, if we've got a guy that could really dial things back and show up on Friday night and be okay, he would be one of them. So we'll take it day by day and kind of just see how he does over the weekend, and kind of go from there. And same thing, Ethan Mudd, I think, is going to get an X-ray tonight, and just check his ankle. Conrad, yeah, he's got the ability to be incredible back. Conrad Raymond, I felt like it was a hyper-extended knee from talking to Dr. Miller and them late in the game. He was struggling to put some weight on it, but again, it's kind of something that it'll take some more time and some more tests to kind of really figure out all the ins and outs of kind of what his status is.
You got a question, Kayla?
I know from experience, going from week 1 to week 2, that's kind of, I think, the biggest growth period as a team. My only worry would be having homecoming that second week too, having that as distractions. what do you want to see from them that would make you feel a lot better going into next week?
It'll be game preparation. What are our practices like Monday through Thursday? Are we locked in and able to do some things? I'll be the first one to just say it right now. We didn't have the best week of practice. I think in some ways, we played pretty well at Hopkins County Central, and we felt real good about ourselves. So I think we were not locked in all week this week. We had some mental mistakes in practice with false starts and some different things that kind of showed its head throughout the week. And, we tried, and maybe it's our own fault, but we tried several different combinations on the line and trying to figure out what was our best situation and our best five to get in there. And so we probably could have got Green some more snaps at center than what he got, but we were trying to see if it was better to have him at guard and play somebody else at center. And moving forward this week, we'll be more concrete with who's going where and who's doing what, and make sure we get plenty of reps and preparation for Marshall. But it'll be game preparation. When we're in film on Monday, are we locked in and really trying to get better from the issues we had this game. And then when we, go out and start implementing a game plan, where's our head at? And I think will be able to be determined really early in the week. And I'll be honest, if it's not where I think it needs to be, we'll make some adjustments and get it there. Because we've got an opportunity in front of us to be a really good football team. We show it in spurts, but we got to get some consistency. I still love our group, but we definitely showed tonight we've got some things to shore up on the mental side. Holding penalty on a touchdown, and followed up with 2 or 3 bad snaps, and we should have scored right there before the half. Ran some really good plays. Kids made some plays, but then you get a holding penalty and different things like that. So, we got work to do. It's early.
It is, and I think that's probably the best part about it is that if this game was Hancock County or Breck County or even Seneca, one of your last couple of games this season, you'd probably be feeling a lot worse.
Yeah. And I do think that we got better from our first scrimmage to our second scrimmage. I think tonight we started off picking up right where we left off. Then we faced quite a bit of adversity, and at times handled it really well. At times we didn't look nearly as good. So, we got to make sure that we've got guys ready to step in, because when it's Friday night and the lights are on, it's next guy up, and you've got to be able to step in and help your team win a ball game. And we had some guys do that tonight, and I'm extremely proud of that. But we've got to be more prepared next week for Marshall County coming in.
Well, I first can say that congrats on 5 straight tobacco wins, 6th straight year that you're 1-0, and then also tonight, as Roger Lush pointed out to me, you're now the 3rd winningest coach in Grayson County football history. So you passed Keith Graham, who ironically enough is the coach at Bethlehem,
who's playing Marshall County tonight.
Who defeated Marshall County tonight.
Oh, they did beat them.
They did beat Marshall County tonight. So, Coach, congrats on the win, because in all reality, you'd rather be 1-0 than you'd be 0-1.
Absolutely. We'd rather start the year with a win off. And any win against Edmonson County is a good win. I told the kids earlier in the week, we could be regional champion contenders. They could be in a year of struggle, and this, a lot of times, is going to be a great ball game.
Or flip-flop
it. Grayson County could be in a down year. Edmonton can go on a long run. And if you look at the score of the game that year, a lot of times it was a ball game. It just happens in rivalry games. You watch rivalry games across the country in college football and everything like that. There's just something different about a rivalry game. And, I don't think this is any telling of what may come ahead of us in our season. And I don't think it is of them either. The Mills kid is a great athlete and plays extremely hard. And, that their line did a really good job tonight of allowing him to kind of get in space, and he made some plays. And so they're going to give some people some problems. And, I still think we have the ability to give a lot of people problems too.
Coach, congrats on the win. We'll see you next Friday.
Thank you.
That's head coach Brian Jones. More on the 5th Quarter Show comes up after this.
When I found out my son was addicted to opiates, I didn't know where to turn. Now I know there's help, and you can call, whether you're a family member, a sibling, or the person with the addiction. And the number is 1 1-833-8-KY-HELP. Call for the resources. They're going to help you with compassion and care and the knowledge of what's available to get you the help you need.
Here's a simple truth about higher education.
If pursuing your purpose, doing what you really care about matters.
If having a rewarding career matters.
If a better financial future for you and your family matters.
Then higher education matters. A brighter future is within your reach. Find out how at kyhigheredmatters.org. Brought to you by this station and the Kentucky Broadcasters Association.
No matter what you're up against, we have your back.
We are United Way.
We are neighbors, helping neighbors.
In communities around the world, when disaster strikes, we get you back on your feet.
We help children build brighter futures.
We've been here for over 135 years.
But now, our work is more important than ever.
Join us.
Join your neighbors.
Join United Way.
On K105.
Welcome back here to Edmonson County High School, where the Grayson County Cougars have picked up a win tonight in the Tobacco Bowl by a final score of. They win the game by a final score of 14-7. And, I mean, Kaylor, as a whole, I mean, you heard Coach. Do you feel better knowing what you know?
I knew during the game we had subs in, but football's a violent sport where you have to rely on your subs too, because you're not going to be going the whole season with all your starters in at the same time. It's just not feasible. The only game you play 100% is that first game. And
For the
you
first
snap.
Yeah.
And that's it. So, I mean, your depth has to be just as prepared.
And here's the thing. Edmonson County can say the same thing because Michael Mills
went out.
I'm sure they're pouring him an ice tub right now. And, you know, we might be the Grayson County broadcast or whatever, but, I mean, shout out to Michael Mills.
Yeah,
I mean, the kid played a great game.
He's going to have a long year ahead of him, too, body-wise, because, I mean, that's playing like he does in an offense like he does. Being a linebacker, too, that's a lot of contact. And, I mean, there's plenty of opportunities to – hopefully he doesn't get hurt, but there are plenty of opportunities that he does, and Edmonton's going to need a backup guy to pick up his slack.
Coming up, we will wrap it up and give you – oh, man, look who's walking up the stairs right now. Oh, my goodness. We have really dropped down when that man's walking up the stairs. We'll take a break, give you our offensive player of the game, wrap it up. After this, it's Cougar Football on K105.
When I found out my son was addicted to opiates, I didn't know where to turn. Now I know there's help, and you can call, whether you're a family member, a sibling, or the person with the addiction. And the number is 1-833-8-KY-HELP. Call for the resources. They're going to help you with compassion and care and the knowledge of what's available to get you the help you need.
Are you looking for the best building materials in Litchfield? Look no further than Future Designs Building Materials. The builder's choice on Quarry Road has everything you need to build your dream home. Jim writes, I'm so glad I came to Future Designs for my new roof. The staff was so helpful and knowledgeable, and they made sure I got the right materials for my needs. Thanks, Jim. Future Designs is more than just a building materials store. Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield. FDBM.net.
Building on experience.
Are you ready to help your family get prepared for the unexpected? Here we go! Ladybug and Cat Noir know how important it is to be ready, because you never know when Hawkmoth is going to strike or a disaster will hit. And you don't need miraculous powers. Just put those planning skills you already have to good use. Make a plan that will help you and your family be ready when emergencies happen. Ready Kids can help. Get started at ready.gov/kids.
Here's a simple truth about higher education.
If pursuing your purpose, doing what you really care about matters.
If having a rewarding career matters.
If a better financial future for you and your family matters.
Then higher education matters. A brighter future is within your reach. Find out how at kyhigheredmatters.org. Brought to you by this station and the Kentucky Broadcasters Association.
Cougar football on K105.
Welcome back here to the fifth quarter show on K105. Sam Gormley and Kaylor Decker with you. And Kaylor, we have to remember to give out our Offensive Player of the Game, sponsored by Sheriff Norman Chaffins. And I know we just talked here at the break, and we both agreed that the Offensive Player of the Game is
Kenton Cornwell.
I agree. I think Kenton, he made a couple of big plays when they needed to be made.
Yeah, and that's not even his true position either. He came in and played multiple positions. He caught some balls out of the slot, had some nice runs as a tailback, blocked nicely. And I know it's an offensive player of the game, but he made a lot of plays on that defensive side of the ball too.
So Kenton Cornwell is our Sheriff Norman Chaffins Player of the Game. He gets a swift high five from the Sheriff, and we look forward to hearing that about what it is. And Sheriff will also be donating money to the football program for every interception. Sadly, none of those today. We tried to get him to dive into those deep pockets and get full fumbles this year, but
we would have had a couple.
He'd had a couple this year as well. To wrap it up for today, Jaron Van Meter got things started with a 2-yard touchdown run with 9:12 left in the first quarter. It started off great for Grayson County. And then it kind of got a little shaky, but they had the big drive that started all the way back at their 1-yard line, a 99-yard drive that took just about 7 minutes off the clock, an 11-yard touchdown run by Caden Hanshaw. The Cougs were up 14-0 and feeling real good, especially when they got the ball back at the Edmonson 21 with 1:40 to left. A couple of bad snaps, wasn't able to do anything up that 14-0. And I know I told you, Kaylor, that kind of felt, and I hate to bring it up again, but eerily similar to kind of that Breckenridge County game a couple of years ago where you had the chance to score at the end of the half, and you never know when those could come back. Luckily, it didn't end up mattering tonight, but
there's been games it does.
It does. Edmonson County, first they went 3 and out on their first drive. Grayson County turnover on downs, and then it was like a switch flip for the Wildcats. 53-yard touchdown run by Michael Mills. They had another great drive working. Mills came out of the game with an injury. They put someone else in, and Colton White, first run, puts it on the ground. Fumble. Grayson County gets the ball back, but the Cougs all the way down the field, looking like they were going to punch it in with about 3 minutes to go. And a bad snap turns into a fumble of their own, gives the ball back to Edmonson County. They drive just about the length of the field, and a big chop block penalty pushes them backwards, and they just had to throw a prayer up that didn't make the end zone. It was not caught anyways. Grayson County wins the game against Edmonson County 14-7 because of that. As a final thoughts, though, Kaylor, in this one as a whole, do you have any?
It's a long year, I'll say that, and you can't put too much stock in the first game. I still think, and I will praise this till I go to my grave, the most important week of a season is between week 1 and week 2. So this is where a team's going to improve the most, and I'm looking forward to seeing how we play in front of a home crowd next week.
Week 2 will be against Marshall County. 7 o'clock start time will be that game at home, so you can come out and cheer on this team. It'll be homecoming. I know a lot of people are coming in town to attend Roger Lush's event, so if you are, we look forward to meeting you. Come and say hi, and we look forward to it. Cougars take on Marshall County next week. That'll wrap up our coverage for tonight's game, as I want to thank the K105 Digital Productions crew for their hard work. Your camera operator was Eli Smith, and your director was Trey Cook. That's a debut crew tonight, and from what I can tell, they did a really, really good job. I think the only complaint we had was from Ethan Hall, and that doesn't
that doesn't mean anything.
Yes,
he has no say.
No say. So it looks like they did a great job, so shout out to them. So tonight where Grayson County picks up the 14-7 victory against Edmonson County. For Kaylor Decker, this is Sam Gormley saying, so long, everyone.
Bye.